The boys in black appear to be back. The Hawkeyes off to their best start in 6 years, while a visiting coach and his quarterback return to their roots. They're both Iowa City natives, but they come back in enemy colors. The histories of North Texas and Iowa football intersect and intertwine at so many turns, but this is the first on-field meeting between the two programs. Good afternoon, Anish Shroff alongside former Texas Longhorn Ahmad Brooks. Entering this season, Iowa was mired in a 4-year malaise of mediocrity. But last week, Saturday night here at Kinnick, the Hawkeyes may have finally emerged from those doldrums.
Here's the kick. It's on the way. It's set. And up. It is good. It's good. Iowa wins 27-24. Marshall Kane with a 57-yard field goal.
A big emotional win last week, and the narrative surrounding this Hawkeye program is that there is some newness to it, especially with the head coach, Kirk Ferentz. What's new about Coach Ferentz?
Well, I think they've tweaked their offensive system, but the real answer is they've got a new quarterback in C.J. Beathard, and this kid's good. He's a dual-threat guy. He can beat you with his arm. He can beat you with his feet, and has led his team to 2 fourth-quarter comebacks in the last 2 weeks. North
Texas head coach Dan McCarney hails from Iowa City, but he said, hey, no time for pie shakes at the Hamburg Inn. This is a business trip. His quarterback, Andrew McNulty, also a local kid who played his high school ball up the street. What's going through McNulty's head?
Well, he's got an edge. You know, this was the university that he wanted to come to, but they recruited him as a defensive back. So today, he'll be trying to beat defensive backs, and if North Texas is to have a shot to win, it'll come off McNulty's arm.
We asked Kirk Ferentz yesterday, what's it going to be like to face Dan McCarney? Ferentz said, awful. These two guys are great friends. They were on Hayden Fry's staff together. They coached against each other in the Cyhawk series when McCarney was at Iowa State, but now on opposing sidelines, and that friendship put to rest at least for the next 60 minutes. Iowa won the toss and will receive. Big Ten against Conference USA. The Hawkeyes 3-0 for the first time since that 09 season, which ended with a victory in the Orange Bowl. North Texas seeking its first win of 2015. Trevor Moore kicks it off. Desmond King from his own end zone. King across the 20 and stumbles ahead to the 30-yard line. A good return for Iowa. And C.J. Beathard, the starting quarterback for the Hawkeyes, 4-0 in his career as a starter. He gives this team a different element than they've had in the past at this position.
Yeah, an offensive coordinator, Greg Davis, said that he believed that he's made the greatest strides with his leadership ability. We'll see that today, and it's a lot easier being the vocal leader when you're the guy. C.J. Beathard is now the guy here in Iowa.
Two tight ends, two backs to start out vintage Iowa. And the handoff to Jordan Canzeri. And he's to the 35-yard line for a gain of 5. 2nd and 5. Canzeri, a $124 on the ground 2 weeks ago against Iowa State. He'll see the bulk of the carries today with LaShawn Daniels still banged up.
Second and 4 at the 36.
Beathard on the delay. Canzeri again, a couple of moves into the secondary, into North Texas territory, and finally flipped at the 36-yard line of the Mean Green.
Yeah, and they ran that behind the guy who is my impact player, the center Blight. It was just right up the middle, and you see there everybody latching onto their blocks. That's how you pop a big run like that. Everybody doing their job, and Iowa got it there on a big run from Canzeri.
First look at LaShawn Daniels in the backfield. He tweaked his right ankle against Iowa State 2 weeks ago. Was not that effective last week against Pittsburgh. Daniels. And again, that ankle slowing him a little bit. Doesn't get far. Anthony Wallace on the stop. Ahmad, your impact players.
Yeah, you saw the big run. It starts with the center, Austin Blythe. He'll be responsible for keeping Beathard clean today, making checks with the appropriate pass protection. And on the other side, Keyshawn McClain, a very active safety, plays high, but very involved in the running game. Racked up 16 tackles a week ago.
North Texas a little short-handed defensively. Their top DB out for the season, Kenny Byers. Starting middle linebacker, Blake Bean, out for this game as well with an injury. Empty set. Beathard with time. Breaks a tackle in the backfield, and there's the ability to improvise. That looked like a busted play, and he turned it into a nice game.
Off-schedule plays. If you want to be the man here, this is what you do. Watch him here. Breaks down in protection. Just a simple four-man rush, but downfield coverage. Nice dip there and gets out into the open field. He's done this all season long. He buys time with his feet, and those are plays you don't coach.
So 3rd and short now for Iowa. 2 tight ends in the game. Canzeri looking for some room, picks up a first down, and he's inside the 25-yard line of North Texas. Well, this offensive line for Iowa lost 2 big pieces in the offseason. A left tackle and a right tackle, both in the NFL. Brandon Sheriff, in fact, a top 10 pick in the draft. Off play action. Beathard slings one in traffic. And that ball is going to be caught by Riley McCarron, just his 2nd reception of the season.
That's a tough catch. He caught it in traffic, and watch how tough he is here. Excellent route. He gets down out of his break, comes back to the football. Those are the little things that help your quarterback, especially in a tight window like this.
Iowa's been in the red zone 11 times this season. They've scored at 9 touchdowns. Tight formation. Canzeri has some room, and into the end zone. Iowa scores on its opening drive. Fifth rushing touchdown of the season for Jordan Canzeri, who came into the year with 2 rushing TDs in 29 career games. And Marshall Kane, last week's hero, on for the point after. He'll hit that one if he can hit it from 57. There is a flag on the play.
Try is good. Personal foul. Defense, number 99 for leaping. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Yeah, let's go back to this touchdown run by Canzeri, and you'll see on the right-hand side a big block left to your screen from the tight end, Henry Krieger-Coble. Completely allows him to get that cutback lane and go away from the grain of the defense. It's hard to change direction when you're running downhill, and you know you've got to bring your pads with a big back like Canzeri.
Canzeri on that first drive, 4 carries, 55 yards, including the touchdown. Iowa marching 70 yards in 7 plays and needed less than 3.5 minutes to do so. And we saw Kirk Ferentz go empty, but we also saw a lot of traditional Iowa football, 2 tight ends. And when we talked to Coach Ferentz yesterday, he said, listen, I'm doing some things differently. We had to reevaluate after last year where we were as a program. But these are not broad, sweeping, major changes. There are a lot of tweaks, fine-tuning to what was already an engine that had shown in the past it can run.
Yeah, I was at Texas with offensive coordinator Greg Davis, and he runs multiple sets. You know, they'll come out in 2 tight ends, and they'll motion the empty set. They do so many different things that if you're North Texas, you've got to make sure that you realize and recognize personnel, but you also have to shift quickly when they do something different.
There's that big leg of Marshall Kane, and he sends that one into the seats for a touchback. Andrew McNulty, the return of the native. He played his high school ball just up the street at City High, led his team to a state title game as a senior when he was the quarterback, won a state championship game as a DB as a junior. He told us Iowa had some interest in him. They never offered him a scholarship. They wanted him to walk on as a defensive back. North Texas gave him a chance to be a quarterback.
Yeah, offensive coordinator Mike Canales also said he's been in the program 5 years. He's paid his dues. Now he gets an opportunity to return home and a start at Iowa.
First down, he'll give it to Antoine Jimerson, and he is gobbled up after a minimal gain by what is a very, very good Iowa defensive front.
Yeah, you'll hear his name all day today. The man clogging up the middle, Jaleel Johnson. A big body there, can take on double teams, and for them to run up the middle, they got to deal with him.
McNulty's pass batted down. That was Nate Meyer, the defensive end. Meyer's another guy who's played well. 2 sacks last week, 4 through the first 3 games. And now a 3rd and long for McNulty.
Yeah, and this is where the defensive ends are going to pin back their ears. Meyer and Drew Ott, 2 fine defensive ends looking to eat a quarterback here on this play.
Iowa in its Raider package here on 3rd and 8. McNulty under pressure, nowhere to go, and he's dropped. Back at the 15-yard line, it's Meyer with his 5th sack of the season.
Meyer, and talking to the coaching staff, they made it very clear. They felt like he's much quicker, much faster this year. And though he didn't quite drag him down, McNulty, on that particular play, he did enough to disrupt him and flush him outside of the pocket. As I mentioned, 3rd downs are key for North Texas. Being able to block Meyer and Ott is going to be a challenge.
Eric Kina on to punt it away. King waiting for it inside his own 30. Desmond King across the 40, has some room into Mean Green territory, and finally subdued at the 40-yard line of North Texas. A 32-yard punt off a 55-yard return. Iowa off to a strong start at home.
This project calls for a real multitasker, someone who can handle 6 things at once. Someone like George. Hi, boss.
Starbucks Double Shot. There's no match for double the U.
Get in the spirit of fall with stylish savings. Right now at Men's Warehouse, select suits are only $199.99. Select sport coats are just $99.99. Plus, buy one, get one free on even more. Men's Warehouse. Follow your style.
I've won over $29,000 on FanDuel. Nothing special about me. The difference is that I played and they didn't.
Over 1.1 million people have won money playing one-week fantasy football on FanDuel.
If you think it can't be you, it can be you.
Choose a league, pick your team, and win. Leagues start from $1 and there's no season-long commitment.
Every week I can beat my buddies on FanDuel. Every single week I can win money on FanDuel.
Try FanDuel today. We'll match your first deposit up to $200. Go to FanDuel.com and enter promo code YARD. That's YARD.
Our town just stopped breathing when our school was broken. After the tornado hit, Belfort rolled into town and they quickly started fixing our school. They said, "Don't worry, we can fix this. We're gonna make this all better."
I made them a promise that their kids would be back on the first day of school.
5 months have passed and we're home.
At Belfort, we're restoring more than property.
The ingredients for a better football season? You're looking at them.
Get our kickoff special. Any large 2-topping pizza for $10. And don't forget the Pepsi. Add a double chocolate chip brownie for $6 more.
Better ingredients, better pizza,
better football.
At the new papajohns.com.
36 hours ago, you were Jeff and Susan. Now, your mom and dad. But you've got this. You read the baby manuals, you baby-proofed the house, bought yourself a safe SUV. You're totally ready for this. Right?
It's homecoming for North Texas head coach Dan McCarney. He grew up in Iowa City, played his high school ball at City High, same place that his quarterback played, and he played at Iowa, was an assistant coach under Hayden Fry, and coached with and against Kirk Ferentz. Kirk Ferentz's team looking to go to 4-0 for the first time since 2009. Great starting field position at the North Texas 40. Beathard on first down, play action with time to Canzeri, spin move, and Canzeri able to pick up 6, 2nd and 4. Canzeri, a dual threat. He came into this game second on the team in receptions. And there is an injured Mean Green player. It's the strong safety, James Gray, a junior college All-American before coming to Denton.
And this is not good if you're North Texas. They've already lost 2 defensive backs, cornerback Kenny Byers, and also another back last week. So when you talk about this secondary, you know that this is, if you're North Texas right now, you're hoping he can get back up.
We'll take a quick break. 10:02 to go here in the first.
Come on! I'm coming. Let's go, Dad! Who's ready to go to Wally World? It's a long way down Holiday Road. Holiday Road.
Honey, a blonde in a convertible? Seriously?
Built for families, designed for drivers. The QX60 from Infiniti, with a 3rd row and seating for 7.
Geico Motorcycle. Great rates for great rides.
So how did you get this gold PS4?
So last week I ran into this guy, Dimitri Two Hands. He used to run with the mob. Anyway, his goons boosted some bullion from the Kamarov vault. But the bars are marked, so they had to melt them down. Now it's in a cookhouse. You know the right guys and have the dinero. People are dipping all sorts of stuff in it. That's how.
Really? Because I heard that you can only win it at Taco Bell.
Grab a Quesarito or Volcano Quesarito Big Box for a chance to win a limited edition gold PS4 bundle. There's a winner every 10 minutes.
The way I see it, you have 2 choices. The easy way or the hard way. You could choose a card that limits where you earn bonus cash back. Or you could make things easier on yourself. That's right, the Quicksilver card from Capital One. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere. So let's try this again. What's in your wallet?
James Gray, the strong safety for North Texas, went down right before we cut to commercial.
Yeah, you see him here, number 21. He goes high on this tackle here. It wasn't bad form, but watch his teammate come in here on the end of this play, and it looks like helmet-to-helmet contact and potentially even on that shoulder. Don't want to speculate here, but that certainly is what they're working on. You can see him there on the sideline. A tough blow for this North Texas defense, and number 19, John Shalacy, who hasn't played a whole lot, will now come into the ballgame.
And a thin secondary gets thinner. 2nd down for Iowa. Ball at the 34-yard line of North Texas. Canzeri looking for room. Actually, that was LaShawn Daniels. And he's stopped by Fred Scott. Defensively, not a lot of depth for North Texas, and the injury starting to take their toll, especially on the back end. You mentioned Kenny Byers, their top DB, out for the year with a back injury last week. Cedric Fernandez injured his knee against Rice. He was in their top 5 in that secondary. third down, North Texas has really struggled to stop teams on third down. Opponents converting 62% of the time. For the Mean Green, worst mark in the FBS. Canzeri stood up in the backfield, breaks free, keeps the play alive, but finally swarmed for a loss. Back at the 38, Jared Combs led the charge.
Yeah, and Anthony Wallace, number 43, he comes clean. He gets an opportunity, but we've seen this often today. Already early in the ball game, missing tackles. Anthony Wallace is playing in place of number 27, middle linebacker Blake Bean, their real and true leader. But 43 Anthony Wallace is also a captain on this team as a backup. He'll have to improve if he's going to make some plays.
So they're punting here. Could this be another Kirk Ferentz fake potentially? Nope. Dylan Kidd will punt it away. So Marshall Kane did not get a chance from about 55 yards, but Kidd does his job, and Iowa pins North Texas at the 3-yard line. College football tonight on ABC. Crucial game in the Pac-12, UCLA and Arizona, game day in Tucson. Rich Rodriguez told Sam Ponder this morning that Scooby Wright, last year's top defensive player, will return for the Wildcats. And UCLA will be without Miles Jack, who's done for the year.
They're two players that really hunt the football. Both of those guys are wonderful for their teams.
Second drive for North Texas. They begin at the 3. McNulty to throw. And that one floats a little too high for Carlos Harris, who is his top receiver and the top player on this North Texas offense.
Yeah, 5th most targeted receiver in the country a season ago. While North Texas is backed up, you may be thinking, well, why are they trying to launch it there? They went play action. They kept max protect. That means 6 people in the block to protect him, to give him the time to throw the ball downfield.
On the ground, and that's the first carry of the season for Jeffrey Wilson. He's the team's top running back, missed the first 2 games coming back from hand surgery, had a broken finger. And when we asked offensive coordinator Mike Canales on what Wilson's return meant, he said, oh, thank God he's back.
Tell me about it. Well, here it is, another big 3rd and long situation. We saw what happened last 3rd down. Meyer got to the quarterback. These 2 talented defensive ends are licking their chops.
They'll keep it on the ground, and not much room. The tackle made by Josey Jewell. So a North Texas team that has had trouble staying on the field offensively, back-to-back 3-and-outs, and against an Iowa front that you know is going to wear you out through the course of the game. Early on, this is not the recipe for Dan McCarney.
Well, it's a confidence killer. You know, you come into this intimidating environment, you're playing a Big Ten team, and you can't get anything on offense going after Iowa. Just went straight down the field and punched one in on you. So, yeah, this is a confidence killer, but also great momentum for this Iowa defense. And let's not get it twisted. This Iowa defense is pretty darn good.
Eric Keenan to punt it away. Desmond King fighting the sun. Retreats to his own 36. He had a 32-yard return last time, making plays with his feet. King gets the corner inside the 40, still dancing, and finally out of bounds near the North Texas 30-yard line.
Yeah, this kid is a dynamic athlete, leads his team in interceptions, but you see him here just special with his feet. Nice job of changing directions, and that's also what makes him a good cornerback, coming in and out of his breaks here for the 2nd time today with another big return.
He had the big punt return against Iowa State that set up the go-ahead touchdown, and then last week returned a squib kick 27 yards against Pitt to set up that game-winning field goal by Kane from 57. C.J. Beathard over the middle. That's caught by Jacob Hillier, who is spun down at the 11-yard line, a gain of 16. Greg Davis calls Hillier his Linus blanket.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said, I just trust this kid, and why not? Runs a fine route. He goes down to pick that ball out of the dirt, but he's just one of those reliable players that today Greg Davis in this offense will be looking for ways to get him touches.
5th catch of the season for the 6'4" senior. Three tight ends in the game. Canzeri has some room into the end zone for his 2nd TD. So Iowa able to take advantage of the short field, up 2 scores. Kane on for the point after. And the kick is true.
Yeah, here's how it started on this scoring drive. Desmond King, the cornerback, with another big return. Electrifying, moving, juking, doing all that he can before it was punched in. Right here, you see at the right side of that line, Jordan Walsh, Ike Butker were fantastic.
USC, Arizona State, tonight at 10:30 on ESPN.
Chrysler continues to break new ground in fuel efficiency, quality, and innovation, which is impressive. But doing it for 90 years is a reason to celebrate. And there's even more to celebrate with 0% APR for 72 months at the Chrysler Anniversary Celebration event.
The players, cheerleaders, early seat claimers, the road trippers, masked riders, passionate tailgaters, the whiteouts, blackouts, fans going all out, the hootin' and hollerin', foot stompin', halftime bands rockin'. Every team has a tradition that inspires superior performance, and for the last 60 years, we're proud to be the one they all have in common.
There's a game within the game that requires a different set of skills. There's no off-season. This is a play as much as you want, whenever you want fantasy league. And we don't just play, we are players. This isn't fantasy as usual. This is DraftKings. Welcome to the big time.
Play 1 week fantasy football at DraftKings.com this Sunday. Play free with promo code CHALK.
ESPNU College Football is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The famous Hamburg Inn here in Iowa City. It has been visited by many politicians and political candidates over the years. Ronald Reagan in '92, Bill Clinton in 2003. We need to get some of those pie shakes before we leave town.
Now, Anish, now you're talking. That sounds like a real plane.
4 weeks in, the football season diet has gone out the window.
I'm trying to work on it.
A strong start for the Hawkeyes, 14-0. Marshall Kane shows off that strong leg. And it's another touchback for the Iowa kicker. Brendan Fitzgerald with an update from Columbus, Ohio.
Yes, indeed, Anish. And, of course, to Michael Thomas. First touchdown on the opening drive for the Buckeyes since their opener against Virginia Tech, 7-0.
This is one of those games for Ohio State. Cardale Jones named the starter earlier in the week. To get that quarterback a little bit of confidence. Quarterback play, surprisingly, has been a bit of an issue for the Buckeyes the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I might have gone with J.T. Barrett if I were the guy there.
Harris in motion. He gets it on that fly sweep, and Carlos Harris lit up shy of the 30. Josey Jewell, the middle linebacker again, with the pop.
Carlos Harris is not a big guy. Watch the hit here from the linebacker, just completely Oh, man, you could hear that from up here. And this defense, one of the best tackling defenses I've seen on film all year long.
You went through the tape. How many missed tackles did you count?
Less than 10.
There's Harris, and he's out of bounds. I'll spot him right at the first down marker, and it appears he's got enough to move the chains. He does. Harris last week, what a game. 8 catches for a $193, including a 93-yard touchdown catch. On the ground here on 1st and 10, and torpedoing up the middle is Jeffrey Wilson for a gain of 5.
You see McNulty in this offense start to pick up the pace, and no huddle, up-tempo offense.
McNulty floats one downfield. He's got Wilson, who can't hold on. Wilson had a step on his man, Jewell, the middle linebacker.
Yeah, this time his offensive line really allowed him the time. Only a 4-man rush. You'll see it here. And McNulty really stepping into this throw and just a few inches off, fingertips off of the target.
On 3rd down, Antoine Jimerson into the game at running back. McNulty just 1 out of 4 here in his homecoming. The give is to Jimerson. He had to get to about the 45, and he's going to be about a half-yard shy. So 4th down coming up. You're between the 40s. You're a big underdog. Does Dan McCarney roll the dice? No.
Yeah, I think it's a smart move here. Early on in this ball game, but just because they trotted the punt unit out here does not mean they won't go for it.
Ideally, you'd like to have the ball in plus territory, but North Texas early on, again, it's been a struggle through 2 games for the Mean Green. Already down 2 scores. High snap. Kina corrals it. Gets it off. It takes a bounce at the 21. A North Texas bounce inside the 10. And it'll be down at about the 7-yard line. Dan McCarney grew up in Iowa City, played at Iowa from 1972 to 1974, then was a graduate assistant for Bob Cummings. When Hayden Fry took over in 1979, he wanted someone on his staff with some local ties who knew the state. Fry was a Texan, so he promoted McCarney from graduate assistant to D-line coach. McCarney stayed on at Iowa as a D-line coach until 1989. Then he went and joined Barry Alvarez at Wisconsin in 1990. And in 1995, he took the job at Iowa State. So the folks here in the Hawkeye State are plenty familiar with the man on the North Texas sideline. Canzeri with a nice run, but a flag on the play.
Holding. Offense. Number 80. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
They got the tight end, Henry Krager-Coble. There are so many ties between this North Texas program and Iowa. Hayden Fry, in fact, was the head coach at North Texas, back then North Texas State. And he left Denton to become the head coach at Iowa.
Yeah, the twist and turn, it's almost like a soap opera when you really sit down and think about it. The connections between the people on both sidelines is not something that I've seen in all my years of being around football.
Especially 2 teams that have no on-field history.
True.
More on that after this play. Empty set. Beathard checks down. He's got his tight end, Krager-Coble, who gets to the 10 for a gain of 6. If you're wondering, well, why was this game scheduled? Why are these 2 teams playing? Did it have anything to do with Dan McCarney? The answer is no. This game was scheduled back in 2010, before McCarney even took the North Texas job. And the amount of coincidences you have. McCarney is the head coach, Andrew McNulty, an Iowa City kid, playing here at Kinnick Stadium. All coincidence. Oh, a big hit in the flat. Brandon Garner, the outside linebacker, blew up that play.
Oh, man, take a listen to this thing as he just dissects the play and gets a great jump, splits the two blockers, and lays them out. It's a big-time hit there.
Matt Vandenberg with the reception. His 23rd catch of the season. He came in leading the Big Ten in receptions. On third down. Beathard with time, looking for Tevaun Smith. And it's a catch. And a first down for Iowa, a gain of 15.
Let's take a look at this one more time. You see Beathard with time. Once again, the offensive line providing him what he needs. Tevaun there. And that'll have to be reviewed.
And they will take a look upstairs.
The previous play is under further review. The ruling on the field was a reception for a first down.
Jerry McGinn, the head referee, Salim Chaudhry, the replay official.
And that wasn't the best thrown ball that I've seen out of Beathard. You know, he had enough space and the window was large enough for him to make a throw that was more effective. That time just didn't quite get it in the position or the spot he was looking to hit. Looks like he's got it there. Does he have control as he comes to the ground will be the question.
Important to note, the ball is allowed to hit the ground. You just cannot use the ground, in essence, as a third hand.
Indeed, you have
can't
to have
use
control.
It as support.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that was conclusive.
At the further review, the ruling on the field stands. Reception, first down.
You need indisputable video evidence to overturn a call, and that was not indisputable, so the play stands. It's a first down for Iowa, and the third down woes defensively continue for North Texas.
Yeah, they have not been good. One of the worst teams in the nation, in fact, and you think about it, they have an opportunity to back this team up in terms of field position, and now you let them out of the gate.
There's Rashawn Daniels. And he's just not getting that initial burst. We saw it against Pittsburgh last week. Tweaked his right ankle against Iowa State 2 weeks ago, and then battled the virus all throughout practice this week.
Yeah, I say injuries are like the smell of dirty socks. They linger, and that's what injuries do for any player. So if you're going to play, and especially the physical style of play that Iowa does, you'll have to fight through some pain and injuries.
Beathard over the middle, that's caught. Riley McCarron once again, his second catch of the game. And C.J. Beathard a perfect 7 for 7 here in this first quarter.
And one thing about the slot players at Iowa, you have to have spatial recognition. What does that mean? Find the open space. Get in an area where Beathard can throw into a larger window. That's something that Greg Davis talked about earlier this week, and you saw it unfold right there on that last play.
There's Canzeri, who's at a big first down. The ball is out, and it's recovered by North Texas. Courtney Finney, last year's National Junior College Defensive Player of the Year, recovered the fumble. Chad Davis knocked it out.
Yeah, this is just an alert play. This is a guy that understands where they're at, and you see him here at that last point. He got his hand on the ball, and then the final rake is what pulled it out. But an alert play. And for North Texas, who has had an average of starting position at their own 18, the best field position they've had all day long.
Dan McCarney told us this week the Mean Green had to do better in the turnover battle. They were -4 through the first 2 weeks of the season in turnover margin. Little pop pass to Harris. And he takes it to the 35-yard line, tackled by Cole Fisher. It's a gain of 2. North Texas does not have to call another play. here in this first quarter. Mean Green down by 2 scores. McNulty still directing traffic. Antoine Jimerson using the stiff arm. And he gets to the 34-yard line. That takes us to the end of the first quarter, one largely dominated by Iowa. Jordan Canzeri, 60 rushing yards in the first 15 minutes, including both Hawkeye scores.
Sunday Night Baseball, Pirates, Cubs at 8. September rules on ESPN.
Robert from Bloomfield has been using Gillette for years, so he wasn't surprised that our best blades were smooth.
It's very smooth.
Or comfortable.
It's efficient. There's no pull. Hey!
But he was surprised.
Shaving with those blades can save you up to 50%.
Surprise. Compared to the other shave clubs, Gillette's best blades can save you up to 50%. Join the Gillette Shave Club today.
Very surprising.
Wet 5.
We need to replace the microwave cooking device.
Oh, this will cost mass quantities. Commence the jingle.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, Bildar, how can I help?
Brent Allen, did we receive savings from our discount double check?
Oh, yeah, a bunch.
This pleases me.
Wait, we're in space. I thought you guys were from France.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there in France. See? France?
Oui.
Save mass quantities with a State Farm discount double check.
Okay, what is this?
It's chewy.
Really icy.
Whoa, that's intense. It just hits you. It's gum.
No, it's totally a mint. It's disappearing as I'm chewing it. Where did it go?
It's not a gum, not a mint. It's a totally new cool. New Icebreakers Cool Blasts.
AT&T presents the strongest of the strong.
Okay, guys, let's see who can write the strongest tweet to show your school pride. Go.
I have people who tweet for me. Excellent tweet, Roderick.
Thank you, sir.
Hit me with the smell good.
Strong assistant.
Who's strong enough to watch the college football playoff with Bo? Get stronger with AT&T, the network with the nation's strongest 4G LTE signal.
I've won over $29,000 on FanDuel. Nothing special about me. The difference is that I played and they didn't.
Over 1.1 million people have won money playing one-week fantasy football on FanDuel.
If you think it can't be you, it can be you.
Choose a league, pick your team, and win. Leagues start from $1 and there's no season-long commitment.
Every week I can beat my buddies on FanDuel. Every single week I can win money on FanDuel.
Try FanDuel today. We'll match your first deposit up to $200. Go to FanDuel.com and enter promo code YARD. That's YARD.
The ingredients for a better football season? You're looking at them.
Get our kickoff special. Any large 2-topping pizza for $10. And don't forget the Pepsi. Add a double chocolate chip brownie for $6 more.
Better ingredients, better pizza,
better football.
At the new papajohns.com.
Josh Rosen has big-time talent.
Solomon looking for the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. Big day in the Pac-12 Conference. A lot on the line for both teams.
UCLA, Arizona, tonight at 8 Eastern on ABC and streaming live on Watch ESPN.
Who's in?
Who's in?
I'm in.
You know I'm in.
Bear down.
Go Bruins.
Nick Wilson and Paul Perkins tonight when Arizona meets UCLA in Tucson. A great matchup of two of the best running backs in the Pac-12. That game tonight. Right now, North Texas with its best scoring chance so far today. 3rd and 7 rather from the 34. The Mean Green in the first quarter, 16 yards on 13 plays. McNulty gets rid of it quickly, and he did not get a good spot. Harris made the catch about a yard shy of the first down marker, so 4th and 1 for Dan McCarney, down 2 scores on the road. Got to go for it here, right?
Yeah, I think you do. You keep them out here, and especially since you've had offensive momentum prior to that play. North Texas only had 16 yards of offense, and going back to their struggles in the first quarter, they haven't scored a first-quarter touchdown all season long.
Jimerson, the deep back. They had Harris in the slot, but Dan McCarney wants to go over some things. A timeout by North Texas, and we check in with Brendan.
Anish in State College, Pennsylvania, after Christian Hackenberg threw for a touchdown. This is how San Diego State responds. Rashad Penny goes 100 yards the other way. It's 10-7 Nittany Lions in the first quarter.
All right. Penn State already with a loss to Temple. Well, Dan McCarney has Andrew McNulty as his quarterback, partly because of a connection that dates back to McCarney's playing days at Iowa. One of McCarney's teammates was Jim McNulty, who was a wide receiver for the Hawkeyes. McNulty's son, Andrew, and there you have that connection. James McNulty, an Iowa wideout from 73 to 75. Andrew played at City High, about 10 minutes from Kinnick Stadium. On fourth down, Antoine Jimerson. A little shake and bake. They call it the Jimmy Show in Denton, and he gets enough for a first down. Sometimes they'll shake and bake a little too much.
Well, that time they ran right in behind what I believe is their best offensive lineman, number 50, Caden Kirby, the center out of Flower Mound, Texas. And he's the leader of this bunch and the group. And if you need to get a yard, go behind the guy that you trust the most.
Back to Jimerson. And he'll try that left side. And he's to the 21-yard line for a gain of 5. Ben Neiman on the stop. Last week, North Texas against Rice went with 2 freshman tackles. Jordan Murray started at left tackle. He's a true freshman. Chris Miles, a redshirt freshman at right tackle. This week, Michael Banagoo getting to start at left tackle, a senior in place of Murray. McNulty pumps. Heaving one toward the end zone, nearly intercepted by Desmond King, who had 2 picks last week.
That's not the guy you want to pick on there. He had 2 interceptions in the opening drives last week versus Pitt. In the end zone, in fact, one of them. This time, the DB got a little cocky. You got to go with 2 hands there to secure the catch, trying to put a ball on his highlight reel, and you could tell he's just frustrated after the play, knowing he missed an opportunity there to give the ball back to the Iowa offense.
So 3rd and 5, could this be 4-down territory? Could we see a run?
I think if you're here, you just try to get points on the board.
Play action. McNulty under pressure, rolling to his right, and he just has to throw it away. That Iowa defensive line, that's a mismatch right now with what North Texas has up front.
Yeah, by far the best defensive line this North Texas offensive line has faced all year. And let's face it, this defense is salty. I mean, they coming into this game, they were 4th in the Big Ten and 16th overall in total defense. So if you're watching at home and you're wondering why this North Texas offense can't get going, a lot of it has to do with the guys in the black and gold jerseys.
Trevor Moore from 38 for his career, 14 out of 15 inside 40. Kick is up and good, and the Mean Green get on the board. 3 points off an Iowa turnover for Dan McCarney and North Texas.
Chrysler continues to break new ground in fuel efficiency, quality, and innovation, which is impressive. But doing it for 90 years is a reason to celebrate. And there's even more to celebrate with 0% APR for 72 months at the Chrysler Anniversary Celebration event. Now get 0% APR financing for 72 months on all 2015 Chrysler vehicles.
Some cashback cards love to overcomplicate things, like limiting, where you earn bonus cashback. Why put up with that? But the Quicksilver card from Capital One likes to keep it simple. Real simple. I'm talking easy, like a walk in the park, nothing to worry about. Man, that feels good simple. Quicksilver earns you unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere. It's a simple question. What's in your wallet?
Welcome back to SportsCenter. I'm Scott Van Pelt. Time now for the best available video, which comes to us tonight from...
I have no technical background, I have no design background, and I was able actually to design a product that had that luxury feel and that didn't break the bank. So when anyone talks to me, hand them my Vistaprint business card, that business card, when I make a connection with someone, has to be phenomenal. It has to be elegant and invoke all the things that Diamond stands for.
A great business card should be simple to create. With Vistaprint, it is. Try 500 business cards starting at just $9.99. Enter promo code TV500 at Vistaprint.com.
Tired of seeing your fantasy team ruined by a hamstring? No time for looking at pages of stats and analysis just to find your next fourth-string running back? Bet America makes it easy. Playing here is easy. Easy to choose players, easy to score, and easy to get paid. A few clicks, and you're ready to win real cash. Yeah, this isn't old, tired, complicated fantasy. This is fun fantasy. Introducing Bet America Sports, the daily fantasy sports site that puts fun first. It's time to play the Bet America way.
See what we got? Those aren't just turkey legs. I can't say on the air what they're actually called, but let's just say they're big turkey legs, and there's one more adjective that goes between big and a turkey. Iowa leading North Texas 14-3 here in the second quarter. The Mean Green getting on the board on a 38-yard Trevor Moore field goal. Those points coming off of a Jordan Canzeri fumble. Eric Kina to kick it off. And here's Desmond King, who's had a couple of big punt returns already. King across the 20. Still on his feet. Using the stiff arm, stutter step, and finally brought down at the 41-yard line. When he has the ball in his hands, he's electric.
Look, the young fella today is making money. Yeah, other than that missed interception that he just had in the back of the end zone that could have took points away, he's been able to really change field position today for the Iowa Hawkeyes. You see him here today getting in behind his blocker, and watch this move here at the end of the run. Oh, and back outside. That's nice for a guy who spends most of his time on the defensive side of the ball.
That was a 40-yard kick return. He already had 2 punt returns of at least 30. And Iowa, with its average field position so far today, its own 43-yard line. Quick screen. Vandenberg breaks the tackle across midfield. And Matt Vandenberg finally tripped up by James Gray, who's come back into the game. It's enough for a first down.
Beathard here now trying to get him up to the line and go up-tempo offense.
Canzeri fumbled on his last carry, and he's taken out of bounds by Keyshawn McClain, who had a career-high 16 tackles against Rice a week ago. Second and 9, Iowa using a little tempo. Beathard all day, open receiver, it's caught, and it's a touchdown. George Kittle, the backup tight end. First touchdown of the season by the junior out of Oklahoma. Point after is good. C.J. Beathard has been perfect so far. 9 for 9, $117, and a touchdown pass to Kittle.
I'm Sheldon Yellen, and I started my career rebuilding homes for one family at a time. Today, our companies help build something more. For 28 years, Belfour has been restoring homes and businesses destroyed by fire, flood, or any disaster. And even though we've grown to over 6,000 dedicated people around the world, for me, it's still about helping one family or business at a time. At Belfour, we're restoring more than property.
ready to go to Wally World.
It's a long way down Holiday Road. Holiday Road.
Honey, a blonde in a convertible? Seriously?
Built for families, designed for drivers. The QX60 from Infiniti, with a third row and seating for 7.
Introducing the take-home box. A whole nother meal, just $1.99. Have your fill at the Endless Buffet, then fill up your take-home box for just $1.99 more. Golden Corral, the best buffet in the USA.
Cheerleaders, the hootin' and hollerin', foot stomping, bands rocking. Every team has a tradition that inspires superior performance. And for the last 60 years, we're proud to be the one they all have in common.
After a 43-yard touchdown reception by George Kittle, Iowa leads 21-3.
Yeah, I want you to look up top at the tight end. You see him there. Now, the secondary, it looks like a breakdown in coverage. The tight end just runs a wheel route and runs right by the members of the secondary. We know this secondary is depleted. They are thin in the back end, but those are the types of mistakes you can't make with an Iowa offense that is really starting to gain momentum.
Chris Kosh, North Texas's defensive coordinator in his first season with the Mean Green, said there's a lot of new faces on that side of the ball. They're still learning as a unit how to play together. Now he's just showing off. Kane hits the upright.
No doubt.
Well, Dan McCarney's got his work cut out for him, down 21-3, but he's won some big games as a visiting head coach here at Kinnick. 1998. His Cyclones were a 28-point underdog, and Iowa State at the time had lost 15 straight to Iowa. The Cyclones won and really turned that series into a rivalry again, and a lot of Iowa fans still hate what happened in 2002. The Hawkeyes' only regular season loss was to Iowa State here at Kinnick. Antoine Jimerson bounces to the outside. There is a flag on the play. Jimerson across midfield finally stumbles at the 40, but a flag way back at the 23 of North Texas.
Holding, offense, number 64, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Sam Rice, the left guard, called for holding, and that would negate a 34-yard run.
Yeah, North Texas right now just can't get out of their own way, and that time, probably the best running opportunity they've had all day long. They've only rushed for 15 yards today, and that time Jimerson, who's 5'9", 220 pounds out of Dallas, Texas, just got him behind the line, and I'm pretty sure linebacker secondary just lost sight of him, and he just popped one out.
Jeffrey Wilson in at running back. McNulty finds Marcus Smith, his tight end, and he's tackled immediately by Anthony Gare after a gain of 5. Smith, a senior from San Antonio, who led the Mean Green with 6 TD receptions last year.
Interesting prospect. They line him up and flex him. They'll bring him in to block. He pulls. He does a lot of different things for this offense.
McNulty again underneath. And once again, it's Smith. He gets to the 30. It'll bring up 3rd down.
That's a great job there by McNulty, making this a 3rd and shorter situation as they go back to 4 wides.
Iowa rushes forward. That pass incomplete. Laying the big Jordan Lomax to jar that ball loose.
Oh, that was one of those ones you feel on Sunday morning. And Lomax, I've been really impressed by what I've seen from this kid. You saw him there, the eye discipline, no eye violations. He kept his eyes on the guy that he was supposed to the entire play, which allowed him to get a great jump on the ball and separate the pass catcher from the football.
And now another opportunity for Desmond King. 141 return yards today on punts and kicks. This one will bounce, and it's down at the 23-yard line. The best way to watch ESPN College Football. You can stream every game live at home or on the go. Download the Watch app Watch ESPN. It is free to download. You can just visit watchespn.com. Earlier, how about Herky having a little watch party?
Okay, I like it. That's how you get the party started right there now.
Tell you what, some of his friends got started early.
Of course they did. I saw him out in the streets at 9:30 as I was driving to get breakfast this morning.
Canzeri dots the I for Iowa. 1st and 10 from the 24. And now Beathard looked to change the play at the line of scrimmage, but movement up front.
Looked like the right guard there, Jordan Walsh, jumped a tad bit early.
False start. Offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Indeed, Walsh. Beathard was a backup last year to Jake Rudock, who's now at Michigan. And Kirk Ferentz put out a team depth chart way before spring ball in January and had Beathard #1 ahead of Rudock. Message was clear. Beathard's going to be our guy. Rudock transferred to Michigan. And the coaches have said Beathard's leadership and confidence has taken off since he's been #1. All day to throw. Downfield for Smith. Makes the catch. Tevaun Smith. Gone. 81 yards. C.J. Beathard locked in. That was the longest pass of his career. He is 10 out of 10 for 198 yards. That was his 2nd touchdown pass. And right now, this game feels like the Death Star against Alderaan.
And it's because of Beathard. This kid's for real. And let's take a look at this play. It was the offensive line once again giving him time after the play fake. They're in an I formation, turned his back to the defense because he knew he had time. And look at that, 6 yards, 6-7 yards of space. But the route by Tevaun Smith being able to cross the defensive back and get back into a position to catch the post route. He beat Zach Whitfield for a touchdown. Tevaun Smith is one of those guys. Offensive coordinator Greg Davis said, he's a guy we've got to get involved in. You see why now, those long strides, a taller wide receiver that's got that type of speed, but the throw from Beathard was fantastic.
Smith, 2 catches, 96 yards. He went over 1,000 yards for his career last week. A reception now in 17 straight games. And the senior from Canada, part of what is shaping up to be a potent receiving corps for Iowa. Vandenberg has been a go-to guy on 3rd downs, your possession receiver. Smith can stretch the field. And this team expects Jake Jewell to come back next week. In fact, we could even see him today to get in for maybe 5 to 10 snaps. Kirk Ferentz wants Jewell to have a few reps before conference play.
Yeah, you're right. They've got a variety of wide receivers who all have different skill sets, which should bode well for Beathard in the future.
Special teams has been a weapon as Kane bangs it off the upright on a kickoff again. Brendan Fitzgerald in the studio.
Anish, we're going to check back in on the Ohio State. It's 14-0 over the Broncos of Western Michigan.
All right, thank you, Brendan. Here it's 28-3, Iowa against North Texas. CJ has been the story in this first half for the Hawkeyes. First year as a starting quarterback, 4-0 in his career as a starter, a perfect 10 for 10. And Iowa, with plenty of time to go in the half, up by 25. Jeffrey Wilson motions from the slot back to the backfield. Wilson gets the call, breaks the tackle, turns ahead to the 33-yard line for a gain of 8. Stopped by Jewell. Green looking to go quickly. Play action, McNulty pumps, and he's got to throw it away. Nobody open. Iowa's DBs did not bite.
Yeah, Lomax that time and King in coverage. As McNulty makes the smart decision as the pressure was drawing near, getting the ball out of bounds.
No foul for intentional grounding. The area.
Corey and Harris at the top of your screen. Loving and Smiley at the bottom. 3rd and 2. Pressure off the edge. That's caught by Turner. Smiley, he turns upfield, gets across midfield before he's run out of bounds by Greg Mabin. It's a gain of 21, a first down for North Texas.
Yeah, McNulty there with maybe one of the best balls he's thrown all day today. Threw it to the outside shoulder of the wide receiver.
Wilson, one cut inside the 40, and he picks up 11 for a first down. Finally brought down by the all-conference defensive end, Drew Ott.
Yeah, that's a 10-yard run on a defense that's only given up 51 rushing yards a game. And that hasn't happened a whole lot this season. A good run there by Wilson.
Iowa wasn't set. McNulty with time over the middle, low throw, and it is incomplete. Harris unable to hold on. Lomax on the coverage.
Yeah, he's got a clean pocket once again. Kudos to that offensive line up front, taking on what I believe one of the most dominant defensive lines perhaps in the Big Ten. Guys that can get after you.
Another blitz off the edge, and the catch made out in the flat. There is a flag on the play. Harris made the reception. Well, Iowa's brought some blitzes here on this drive, and when we talked to their defensive coordinator,
Legal formation, offense, more than 4 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So North Texas will be backed up. But Phil Parker, Iowa's defensive coordinator, told us the Hawkeyes won't blitz more than they usually do. Interesting to note, North Texas has struggled when teams bring pressure this season.
They certainly have, and you know, you're on the opposite side, offense coordinator Mike Canales said, we're going to wait to see what they do. Are they going to bring pressure, or are they going to sit back and allow their 4-man rush to get to the quarterback? But they've shown a mix today, this Iowa defense has.
McNulty pumps, he'll take a shot downfield. He wants Smiley, and Mabin got a hand on it to break it up.
Greg Mabin on the coverage for the Hawkeyes. 3rd and 15 is the 3rd down.
So 3rd and 15. North Texas just 1 out of 7 on 3rd downs. Trips right. Iowa in its Raider package. Play clock down to 2. And I don't think McNulty got it off.
Delay of game. Offense, number 5. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
It's been a rude homecoming for number 5, who played for Dan Sabers at City High, just 10 minutes from Kinnick Stadium. In fact, on Sundays after Iowa home games, McNulty and his teammates would come to Kinnick and help with the cleanup.
That's just the irony of that story, and now for the young man to be getting a start with North Texas. You always love to hear stories like that are awe-inspiring.
Third and long. Underneath, that's caught. Room to run for Wilson. And Jeffrey Wilson able to pick up a first down A gain of 23 by the running back.
Man, that was just a crossing route, and the tight end for North Texas, Marcus Smith, actually picked off the defensive back that was trailing the running back, Wilson.
Offensively, a little more life by the Mean Green in the second quarter. They'll keep it on the ground. And that time, Wilson gobbled up right at the line of scrimmage. Nate Meyer was in on the stop, as was Jaleel Johnson, the big defensive tackle you like.
I do like Johnson, and here's where you find out what type of defensive line you have. They're running up-tempo offense. You see guys with hands on their hips. They're getting tired. How much will you fight to bow your back to prevent them from getting in the red zone and scoring points?
Jimerson in here on second down. He goes in motion. McNulty under pressure. Got to get rid of it. That pass nearly intercepted. Cole Fisher was able to get his Hawkeye paw on it. 3rd and 10.
It's just strictly the athleticism of McNulty to be able to avoid the pressure and almost squeezes one in to tight end Marcus Smith. The defense was able to get a jump on that. He was locked in to Marcus Smith the entire time there.
Smith's been a guy they go for on 3rd downs. Instead, it's Jimerson. He juggles it and can't hold on. I don't know if he heard footsteps, but either way, it's 4th down. Fourth drop of the game by North Texas wide receivers. It has been pretty much a complete disaster here in this first half. Trevor Moore hit a 43-yard field goal, accounting for the Mean Green's only points. This one from 38. He's got a big leg and able to put it through. 28-6, 7:54 to go, first half.
This project calls for a real multitasker, someone who can handle 6 things at once. Someone like George.
Hi, boss.
Starbucks Double Shot. There's no match for double the U.
So how did you get this gold PS4?
So last week I ran into this guy, Dimitri Two Hands. He used to run with the mob. Anyway, his goons boosted some bouillon from the Kemerov vault. But the bars are marked, so they had to melt them down. Now it's in a cookhouse. You know the right guys and have the dinero. People are dipping all sorts of stuff in it. That's how.
Really? Because I heard that you can only win it at Taco Bell.
Grab a Quesarito or Volcano Quesarito Big Box for a chance to win a limited edition gold PS4 bundle. There's a winner every 10 minutes.
See that guy over there? He's more than the fastest salami slicer in East Schenectady. He's a marketer. Sal built his community of deli lovers with Constant Contact email marketing. His professional emails show off his sandwich selection and his office catering menu. And Sal knows it works. Those customers didn't make Sal their go-to guy because he's full of baloney. Sal's a marketer. And all it took was Constant Contact. Try it free at ConstantContact.com.
I've won over $29,000 on FanDuel. Nothing special about me. The difference is that I played and they didn't.
Over 1.1 million people have won money playing one-week fantasy football on FanDuel.
If you think it can't be you, it can be you.
Choose a league, pick your team, and win. Leagues start from $1 and there's no season-long commitment.
Every week I can beat my buddies on FanDuel. Every single week I can win money on FanDuel.
Try FanDuel today. We'll match your first deposit up to $200. Go to FanDuel.com and enter promo code YARD. That's YARD.
Go to listingoncars.com now. Search from over 4 million cars. Use your desktop, tablet, or smartphone. It's fast and friendly with no ads or distractions. Find classics, pre-owned, and new cars all on listingoncars.com.
USC, Arizona State, tonight at 10:30 on ESPN.
A doubleheader tonight on ESPN in the SEC. Texas A&M takes on Arkansas. Iowa alum and former Iowa assistant coach Brett Bielema looking to get the Hogs off the schneid. They've lost 2 straight. And USC, Arizona State, a couple of one-loss teams in the Pac-12 South. You're talking about maybe an elimination game when it comes to the college football playoff. Been a tough first half for Dan McCarney in his return to his home city of Iowa City. Desmond King might be the first half MVP for Iowa. Finally dragged down at the 21-yard line. Well, Ahmad, C.J. Beathard has been perfect so far.
He's been phenomenal, and you see why Jake Rudock is now in a Wolverines uniform. This kid is special. He's making all the throws. He's buying time with his feet, and he really reminds me of a guy that offensive coordinator Greg Davis had at Texas, a guy named Colt McCoy, one of the winningest quarterbacks in the history of college football. And I know that sounds crazy, but Beathard, off to a 4-0 start as a starter here, looking for his 5th win today, and he's on fire.
Toss to Derek Mitchell. He tried to give it back, and it's recovered by North Texas. So they tried the old reverse there. Mitchell to Vandenberg, who couldn't hold on to it, and Anthony Wallace, the middle linebacker, recovers, and North Texas with a chance to get right back into this game.
Yeah, change of possession is usually when teams try to do the trickery. Here, just trying to get a reverse. The toss looked like it came late from Beathard, which forced the running back to toss it late to the receiver coming around. And those are the mental mistakes that you can't make if you're Iowa and really trying to shut this team down. Now, North Texas, with the best field position they've had all season or all game long, they're in the red zone where they've been fine all year.
First down and goal, the ball at the 6-yard line. Wilson in the backfield with McNulty. McNulty, little trickeration by North Texas. Touchdown, Mean Green. Chris Loving caught it. Carlos Harris threw it. So one team with a trick play that didn't work. North Texas makes it work.
That was a great play call there by offensive coordinator Mike Canales. He knew this Iowa defense, as they call it in football, sudden change. Anytime your offense gets a turnover, you've got to rush right back on the field. Usually, you're making adjustments on the sideline, and the coach will say, back on the field. You've got to get back up, and you've got to focus. And that is why offenses like to take shot after turnovers.
First touchdown catch for Loving. Point after by Moore is good. And North Texas in this game now because of Iowa mistakes. 10 points off Hawkeye turnovers.
Yeah, you see the mishap here by the Iowa offense, but the awareness and the alertness to hop on the football. And then one play later, Carlos Harris, who's known for his ability to catch the football, this time finding his teammate in the back of the end zone.
As a defensive mod, when you have 6 yards to go, from that close, is that a play that you're really prepared for?
No, you don't see this a lot. And the one thing that defenses are aware of, usually plays develop a lot faster down there. So when you see a long developing play like this, it's hard in the secondary and the back end to cover, or also try to find guys that you're supposed to be covering in your zone.
Well, Dan McCarney has got to like that his team is winning the turnover battle. In the first 2 games of the season, the Mean Green were -4 in turnover margin. They had 7 turnovers, +2 in that department today, and it's 28-13. Here's King. And he's tripped up shy of the 20. Ohio State in a battle with directional Michigan. Brendan Fitzgerald has more.
Thanks, Anish. Yeah, Western Michigan kept it close early in the season against Michigan State, trying to do the same and maybe give Ohio State a little more than they bargained for. That is Zach Terrell to Daniel Braverman. 55 yards and a touchdown. It's 14-6 in the second quarter.
I think Florida State taught us a lesson last year. When you anoint a team as a juggernaut coming off a championship, it is hard to repeat. Hard to do it with that target on your back. Jordan Canzeri spun down at the 23-yard line by Fred Scott. Canzeri, 64 yards in this first half, 60 of them in the opening quarter.
Ball start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty, second down.
That's the right tackle, Ike Butker, stepping in this season for Andrew Donnell, a fourth-round pick of the St. Louis Rams. And that has kept North Texas in this game.
Dan McCarney said that if they can win the turnover battle today, they'll have a shot. And here, late in the second quarter, only down by 15.
Here's the screen. Hillier with a nice grab, had to reach back for it. Takes it to the 23-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and 6. C.J. Beathard still perfect, 11 for 11. Over 200 yards passing in this first half. Career high in passing yards, 258, set last week against Pittsburgh. Against a 4-man rush. Beathard with time, another completion. That's Kittle again, the tight end, who already has a touchdown reception, and it'll move the chains. You know what's interesting? Last week, Iowa threw the ball 40 times in a game in which it never trailed. We asked Kirk Ferentz, could you remember another instance in your tenure when that has happened? He couldn't. In fact, it's only happened one other time, 2004, with Tate at quarterback.
Why not with Beathard? You know, and a lot of those passes last week were also screen passes to the running back, but you can see why this offense is throwing the football.
Canzeri on the counter, nowhere to go. And still able to get positive yards, a pickup of 2. Chad Davis on the stop. Last week against Pitt, 29 run plays, 40 pass plays. It's one thing if you're playing from behind. Iowa never trailed in that game. It's all part of the new Kirk Ferentz, I guess. Beathard, far sideline for Vandenberg, and another first down. Zach Whitfield with the tackle.
This is a big-time throw. You want to test the quarterback, you put him on the opposite hash and have him throw an out route to the opposite boundary. This time Beathard standing tall in the pocket. He's got that quick release, but he certainly has enough arm strength to make all the throws on the football field. That was a nice pitch and catch.
Sean Daniels in the backfield, the deep back in the eye. Daniels gets the call, full head of steam. He's across the 35, breaks the tackle, and gets to the 30-yard line. And it's a gain of 16, another first down.
Just watch the offensive line there and the fullback clearing the way as Daniels gets loose in the open field.
Daniels is their bruiser. At a career high 123 yards in the season opener against Illinois State. On the delay, Daniels breaks one tackle and finally stood up after a pickup of a couple. Less than 4 minutes to go in this first half. Iowa offensively has done pretty much what it's wanted against North Texas, but the Mean Green have been able to capitalize off 2 Hawkeye turnovers that's led to 10 points. Screen to McCarron, makes a move, tackled inside the 20-yard line. It's another first down for Iowa. McLean cleaned up the play for North Texas.
Yeah, and we've seen Vandenberg also catch this ball earlier in the first quarter. This time, this is Beathard looking out there, seeing a member of the secondary, the cornerback, 8 yards off, and he trusts his wide receivers. He's getting up, throwing the football. That time, some good yardage on a play that was improvised by this offense.
Beathard 14 out of 14 passing.
Amazing.
Canzeri to the 20-yard line, brought down by Combs. It was last week, right? Grayson Lambert for Georgia set the single game completion record. He was 24 out of 25.
Well, the rhythm right now and the way he's really managing this offense, this is why this staff was so impressed with his performance last season at the end of the year. And now you see why he's really sparked this Iowa Hawkeyes team.
Off play action on the bootleg. That's Krager Coble, and the tight end reaching for the end zone, but he's going to be marked out of bounds at the 4-yard line. Henry Krager Coble.
Yeah, and offensive coordinator Greg Davis is really calling a fine game. He's mixing it up. They're in 3 wide receivers, shotgun. Then they go under the center with 2 tight ends. Then they come back with an I formation with a fullback. And right now, they're just executing at a very high level, and that's why you see them marching down the field.
Jake Doozy into the game, lined up on your O-line, all the way on the right of that line. They'll run left. Canzeri with his 3rd touchdown of the afternoon. Ahmad, in this day and age of spread offenses, we see so many spread teams struggle in goal-to-go situations. For Iowa, not an issue. They're built for those short yardage situations.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Anish. They bring in their tight ends, Coble and Kittle, and those guys will really lean on you, not to mention they also bring in a fullback, so this team is equipped for those types of situations.
Canzeri, a career-high 3 rushing touchdowns, all Iowa.
AT&T presents the strongest of the strong.
Only the strongest get to watch the college football playoff at my place. Now, I'm gonna put you through various feats of strength. You'll be painting your faces, making sandwiches, and washing my cars. Danny?
What does washing your cars have to do with college football?
You're out. Only the strong survive, gentlemen.
Who's strong enough to watch the college football playoff with Bo? Get stronger with AT&T, the network with the nation's strongest 4G LTE signal.
Oh, man. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're covered, Harry.
You gotta do it like this. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, George. Hey, Jim.
State Farm agents are there whenever you need them.
Gentlemen, it's time for the Joseph A. Bank Super Weekend Sale. All traveler suits just $249. All traveler dress shirts and sport shirts 3 for $99. And machine washable merino wool sweaters are 2 for $69. Only at Joseph A. Bank.
Chrysler continues to break new ground in fuel efficiency, quality, and innovation, which is impressive. But doing it for 90 years is reason to celebrate. And there's even more to celebrate with 0% APR for 72 months at the Chrysler Anniversary Celebration event. Now get 0% APR financing for 72 months on all 2015 Chrysler vehicles.
When you're tired, a great tasting 5-hour energy is just the thing. But what if you're tired and thirsty? Water. Precisely. Delicious and refreshing.
Wow, that tastes amazing. That's really good.
Drink it straight or sip it slow. Have you tried great tasting 5-hour energy lately? Hey, you want to share a cab?
Nah, I'm good.
UCLA, Arizona, tonight at 8 Eastern on ABC.
Let's take a look back with our Buick Drive recap.
Mixing in runs, passes. This Iowa offense doing it all today. As you see them punch one in here behind this offensive line. Nice cut back there by the running back. But you want to ask about the day that this young man is having. He's really spread the football around as he has led this team on and off the field this season.
Marshall Kane continues to show off with that leg on kickoffs. And we check in with the studio and Brendan again.
Anish, thanks very much. Coming up at halftime, Charles Arbuckle, Kevin Carter join me. We talk about the statement that Michigan made. Michigan State will let you know what they did against Central Michigan. And how about Western Michigan? They're looking to shock the college football world. Highlights of all those and more coming up at the half. Anish.
Well, if Western Michigan, the boys from Kalamazoo, can go into Columbus and upset Ohio State, there will be plenty to talk about, not just in the Big Ten, but nationally come Monday. North Texas looking to get some positive momentum before halftime. Antoine Jimerson stiff arms his way across the 30 and finally brought down by Desmond King right at the first down marker. It's a gain of 10, enough for a first down that momentarily stops the clock. $1:49 to go.
10 for North Texas at his 35-yard line.
And Green still have 2 timeouts. Jimerson again has space, bumped by King. And Jimerson close to midfield. It's a gain of 13, another first down.
Yeah, they've really found something here, this North Texas offense. Now, they've already rushed for more yards than Iowa is giving up on the ground per game.
Once more to Jimerson. Into Iowa territory at the 49. Give him 3. Lomax on the stop. Clock continues to run. Less than 90 seconds to go. North Texas 61 rushing yards in this first half. To your point, Ahmad, Iowa was giving up 51 per game entering the contest. Incomplete, intended for T. Goree. And it's third down.
Yeah, when I watch this Iowa rush defense, they're nasty, they're salty. And their 2 defensive tackles, Nathan Budgeta and number 67, Jaleel Johnson, are really staples in the middle of the field, and they're the reason why they've been able to play so well against the run.
McNulty moves the pocket on third down, throws on the run, and it's caught for a first down on the reception. Who else? Carlos Harris, and now flags after the play. Amanda Sauer, the center judge, conferring with referee Jerry McGinn.
Officials having a board meeting down there.
Head to the play. Personal foul. Offense, number 26, 15-yard penalty. Third down. Number 34 for Iowa does not have to lead the game for his helmet coming off.
Let's take one more look to see if we have a replay.
You'll see it here in the middle of your screen. Just gets a little high and too violent. You can see both of those guys carrying the play on. But it's always the guy who strikes last who gets called for the penalty.
And a lot of positive momentum that was built up on that drive has now evaporated. North Texas will still have a first down, but the ball now back at the 47-yard line.
With the penalty, it brings up a 10 for North Texas at the Iowa 47.
The give to Wilson, running up the middle, and charges ahead to the 44-yard line. It's a gain of about 4. And we've got a timeout by the Mean Green. .103 to go here in the first half. North Texas trying to get a few more points on the board before halftime. And we remind you, celebrating its 11th year, sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets. Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kicked. To date, Allstate has contributed millions in scholarship monies. With Ahmad Brooks and Anish Shroff, first ever on-field meeting in football between North Texas and Iowa. But as we've illustrated in this first half, the ties between these two schools run deep. Hayden Fry was a head coach at North Texas before coming to Iowa. One of Fry's first decisions was to appoint current North Texas head coach Dan McCarney as his D-line coach. That was 1979. McCarney played at Iowa, grew up in Iowa City. Andrew McNulty, the quarterback for the Mean Green, also grew up in Iowa City, and his dad played at Iowa with McCarney. 2nd and 7. Here's the pressure from Meyer. McNulty gets loose, floats one downfield for Smiley, and he is going to be ruled out of bounds. He made the catch, just could not get a foot in bounds.
That time showing his elusiveness and escapability, avoiding Meyer, one of the more athletic players on this defensive line. And we talked about the rhythm that North Texas has had in the second quarter. First quarter, they got 16 yards. This second quarter, they're off and rolling with 144.
On 3rd down, pressure straight up the gut. McNulty devoured in the backfield. Jaleel Johnson was there, as was Cole Fisher. The clock continues to run.
You see it there, 36, just right up the middle, untouched. They had enough blockers, but that time, the stunning up front, where you've got defensive linemen going from one gap to another, really confused this offensive line for North Texas, and that was a big play for this Iowa defense, as it looks like they'll be getting off the field.
Well, Kirk Ferentz called timeout, and again, this might be new Kirk. We saw it at the end of the game last week. Late in the game, in the past, maybe he would have played for overtime, but he decided to take his chances. Marshall Kane had a 57-yard field goal attempt, able to put it through for the win, so you don't go to overtime. Special teams has been a big playmaker for Iowa today. Why not give Desmond King one more chance to return a punt and see what he can do?
I think you're right. And then you move it a step forward and you talk about the man right there, Kirk Ferentz. If you've got a quarterback like C.J. Beathard, don't hold him back. You don't want to put a harness on this kid. We've seen today how effective he's been through the air. And now in these 2-minute situations, put the ball in his hands and see what he can do and see if he can make some more magic.
King waiting for this one, signals for a fair catch, and he'll make it at the 14-yard line. So a good punt there by Keena, not allowing King to return it. And we'll see if Iowa has a little something up their sleeve with 35 seconds and 2 timeouts. Hawkeyes already with a season high in points, 35. Still another half to play. And almost 350 yards of total offense in this first half. C.J. Beathard has been the trigger man. 15 out of 15 passing, 254 yards, 2 TDs. And Iowa not greedy for more. Kirk Ferentz and the Hawkeyes take a 22-point lead into the locker room. North Texas will receive the second half kickoff. Iowa dominating on offense, on defense, and special teams in the first 30 minutes. Time now to get you caught up with what's going on in the rest of the world of college football. To the studio, Brendan Fitzgerald, Charles Arbuckle, and Kevin Carter.
Thanks very much, Anish. 35-13 is the score. C.J. Beathard, 254 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. 35 points in the first half. Is this heaven?
No, it's Iowa.
It's Iowa. We had
Iowa.
to do that. Kevin Carter, Charles Arbuckle, I'm Brendan Fitzgerald. Your thoughts on the Hawkeyes' first half performance, Kevin?
C.J. Beathard, perfect. Jordan Canzeri, special 3 rushing touchdowns. And the Iowa Hawkeye defense, pretty good. Less than 150 yards given up this first half. They look pretty good as they get ready for Wisconsin next week.
Yeah, they'll be on the road to Madison, and we'll see if they can move to 5-0. That is assuming they get to 4-0 with a win over North Texas. Let's talk about the #1 team in America. That's Ohio State, welcoming Western Michigan, the Broncos, to Columbus. Cardale Jones named the starter despite some turmoil after. They also have a defensive touchdown in Ohio State taking care of the Broncos right now. Michigan, meanwhile, oh boy, they had a big one against BYU. 1-9 in their last 10 against ranked opponents, but you wouldn't know it. Second drive of the game, Jake Rudock, Amara Darboh. Give him the top 10 nominee highlight with a one-handed grab down the left sideline, and then that would lead to this a few plays later. Jake Rudock Gonna tuck it and run, and the Michigan offense looked clean, efficient in this one.
They really are. They're playing well, and what they were able to do, 9 of 17 on third down, Jake Rudock protecting the football.
Meanwhile, Tevaun Smith, don't lose him in the pile. BYU's defense did. He's off and running and not done breaking tackles. Get off me at the 15-yard line, and in he goes for the 68-yard touchdown. Michigan up 21-0 after that. More from Jake Rudock, this time on the ground again. 17 yards in the score. Michigan 31-0 over the 22nd ranked Cougars of BYU. And you wonder, after 3 straight decisive wins, will Michigan find themselves in the top 25? Here's Jim Harbaugh after the game.
Did a heck of a job controlling and possessing the football, an 11-play drive and a 12-play drive, and scored on the first 5 possessions. Came out strong. Saw some really creative plays. Tim Drevno, Jed Fish, had really diagrammed some good plays this week, and the fellas did a nice job executing them. So a lot of good things. Good team victory.
Certainly was 31-0 over BYU. What do we think of the Wolverines?
I think what I see with them is their DNA is now becoming more physical. You want to run the football 51 times, which they were able to do, and really 254 yards. The other thing is when they threw the football, they were able to complete it to their own guys, and that had been the problem for them the last few weeks when they had struggled some. I think what you're starting to see now is an offense that's getting that Jim Harbaugh identity. You saw it on that last touchdown. They had guys for BYU that were knocked out. And BYU is usually a pretty physical ball club. I like how they're doing that, and their defense is getting better as well.
They control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. That's evident by how much they were able to run the football. But the fact that, BYU could not move the football, couldn't score, they couldn't do anything. They controlled the line of scrimmage up front, and it made things easier for the skill position players on both sides of the ball. Jake Rudock's job was easier. He was able to see the coverage downfield, and when they had to pass, he took off and ran because the backs returned. It was a smart, very poised performance from Jake Rudock.
One thing that Michigan has done, number 7 in total defense coming into that game, and then they also don't allow you on third down to convert. 23% coming into today's game, and BYU was 4-15. That's not good enough.
105 total yards of offense for BYU, more than 250 on the ground alone for Michigan. This is what it looks like in the Big Ten. Penn State up on San Diego State. Ohio and Minnesota locked at 14, and West Virginia all over Maryland at halftime. Those games are in progress, and we see the winners from earlier action today. We're going to talk about one of the best running backs in the country coming up. That's Leonard Fournette. He had another game that will turn heads of Heisman voters. We'll have the highlights after this.
Ain't shady, baby, I'm hot like the prodigal son. Big up Battolini, Mini, Money, Mo, and Flower. You're the chosen one.
Dr. Pepper. Always be one of a kind.
It's H.H. Gregg's 60th anniversary celebration. 60 years in business means up to $300 instant savings off our already low sale prices.
Gregg's got it.
A sharp 55-inch 4K TV, $748. A Maytag washer-dryer pair, $899. Plus 0% financing for 24 months. Up to $300 instant savings. Top brands, low prices, fast delivery.
Gregg's got it.
The players, cheerleaders, early seat claimers, the road trippers, masked riders, passionate tailgaters, the whiteouts, blackouts, fans going all out, the hootin' and hollerin', foot stompin', halftime bands rockin'. Every team has a tradition that inspires superior performance. And for the last 60 years, we're proud to be the one they all have in common.
Welcome back. ESPN College Football. Stream every game live all season long at home or on the go. Simply download the Watch ESPN app or visit watchespn.com. Brennan Fitzgerald with Kevin Carter and Charles Arbuckle lets you get you caught up on some more action from earlier in the day. LSU going on the road to the Carrier Dome to take on Syracuse. It was the Leonard Fournette show once again. 244 rushing yards, third most in a game in LSU history. What can you say more about this kid?
I can't say anything more than just don't put him in the game late in the game, but 244 yards, it's unbelievable what he's able to do because they were keyed on him and he was still able to make plays.
First player in LSU history with back-to-back 200-yard games. They get the 10-point win over Syracuse. Tennessee, Florida. Will the Vols be able to snap the streak? I say that as I sit next to former Florida Gator Kevin Carter. Here's Kelvin Taylor. He goes in for the touchdown.
You have to analyze with your head, not your heart, that this is an effort where Tennessee clearly has them outmatched as far as bodies.
Look out for the throwback pass. Josh Dobbs gets rid of it, gets it back, and scores.
Guys, I'd be interested to see if Tennessee holds on, especially what they did last week against Oklahoma. Let's see if they can keep this momentum going. Florida has to play better.
It's a 10-point game, 10-point lead for Tennessee on the road. Jordan Canzeri has 3 touchdowns. That one was number 2. It's 35-13 Hawkeyes at the half.
Chrysler continues to break new ground in fuel efficiency, quality, and innovation, which is impressive. But doing it for 90 years is a reason to celebrate. And there's even more to celebrate with 0% APR for 72 months at the Chrysler Anniversary Celebration event. Now get 0% APR financing for 72 months on all 2015 Chrysler vehicles.
Sir, can you step aside?
Sir, come on, you know who I am. Progressive Insurance. I save people an average of over $500 when they switch.
Did you pack your own bags?
Oh, right, the Name Your Price tool. It shows people policy options to help fit their budget. Crazy that a big shot like me would pack his own bags, right? So, do I have the right to remain handsome? Wait. Uh-oh.
The way I see it, you have 2 choices. The easy way or the hard way. You could choose a card that limits where you earn bonus cash back. Or you could make things easier on yourself. That's right, the Quicksilver card from Capital One. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere. So let's try this again. What's in your wallet?
Go forward. Go reveal. Express. Explain. Go propel. Ignite. Invent. Imagine. Go create. Believe. Inspire. Go higher. Go faster. Go farther. Go Hawks.
Welcome back. Coming up on ESPNU tonight, you got Vanderbilt going to Oxford to take on number 3 Ole Miss. The football power index of ESPN gives Vanderbilt a 2% chance to win. It could shock the world. Then it's Morgan State against Howard at 10:30. All that action right here on ESPNU and available on Watch ESPN. When they say trap game, when they say look-ahead game, when they say sandwich game, they're talking about Notre Dame. Fresh off a big win over Georgia Tech. They got on the road to Clemson next week. In the meantime, it's UMass. CJ Prosise, though, right here. 57 yards for the touchdown to break a scoreless tie in the first quarter. Second quarter, Notre Dame only up 14-13. Here's Deshaun Kaiser. Rolling left, finds Will Fuller behind the defense.
Will Fuller always seems to come up with big plays. Nice job. But this UMass team hanging with Notre Dame.
Yeah, right now it's only an 8-point game as they near halftime. Georgia Tech, meanwhile, looking to bounce back after that loss on the road to Notre Dame. They were Lawrence Austin. So all of a sudden, Duke in trouble. But on 4th down, stuffed up the middle.
You know what? Play call, you can question the play call, but I questioned the referees. There was clearly an encroachment on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they may have missed a defensive penalty there, but meanwhile, Georgia Tech, another chance with 2 minutes left. Well, they cough it up here. Justin Thomas lets it go.
I think Duke did a very nice job playing deep.
They're more impressive as well. The Wildcats looking good. The Hawkeyes looking good as well. They're trying to get to 4-0. Jordan Canzeri, 3 touchdowns in the first half. It's 35-13 Hawks.
So how did you get this gold PS4?
So last week I ran into this guy, Dimitri Two Hands. He used to run with the mob. Anyway, his goons boosted some bullion from the Kemerov vault. But the bars are marked, so they had to melt them down. Now it's in a cookhouse. You know the right guys and have the dinero. People are dipping all sorts of stuff in it. That's how.
Really? Because I heard that you can only win it at Taco Bell.
Grab a Quesarito or Volcano Quesarito Big Box for a chance to win a limited edition gold PS4 bundle. There's a winner every 10 minutes.
Working on my feet all day gave me pain here in my lower back. But now I step on this machine and get my number, which matches my Dr. Scholl's custom-fit orthotic inserts. Now I get immediate relief from my foot pain.
My lower back pain. Find a machine at drscholls.com.
What is creativity?
The ability to probe into something you don't know, to answer questions previously not answered.
And resist the temptation to say what everybody else has said.
Using the different mediums, combining the different mediums.
It's taking what we have and reassembling it and using it in a different manner.
Describes what free people do.
It has something to do with dreaming. It's actually what life's all about.
How do you build a fantasy football dynasty? Throw the biggest game-breaking plays live on one channel. Add in-game analysis from in-studio experts, injury breakdowns from medical pros, and up-to-the-second stats all Sunday long. Then make it mobile, so owners stay connected straight to the source. Only NFL Sunday Ticket Max gives you the DirecTV Fantasy Zone channel. Turn your living room into fantasy football headquarters every Sunday afternoon this fall. Channel 704.
It's H.H. Gregg's 60th anniversary celebration. 60 years in business means up to $300 instant savings off our already low sale prices.
Gregg's got it.
A sharp 55-inch 4K TV, $748. A Maytag washer-dryer pair, $899. Plus 0% financing for 24 months. Up to $300 instant savings. Top brands, low prices, fast delivery.
Gregg's got it.
We're back. Brandon Fitzgerald, Charles Arbuckle, Kevin Carter here on the halftime report. Oklahoma State, Texas. Which shade of orange would win out? First quarter, 3rd and 8 for Mason Rudolph. The Cowboys looking to get on the scoreboard. He finds Brandon Shepard eventually because he's going to escape about 4 tackles. Then he floats it up. Brandon Shepard waiting there. Nobody's around him.
It's usually when you don't get the quarterback down after 8 seconds, is usually it results in a
Bad things can
touchdown.
happen. Yeah, sure. Then Rudolph pulls it back here. Dewan Seals breaks a couple of tackles.
Yeah, bad angle by the safety on that big route, and Seals able to pick up a nice gain.
That led to an OSU touchdown. But Texas, well, they found a quarterback in Gerard Hurd maybe, but Tyrone swoops into the game for this one. And now Texas at the half has a 3-point lead.
I like how they're keeping him engaged. His team is playing a lot better football now.
Let's take a look at some top 25 scores. 4 games in action. Alabama out to a quick lead. Points on the board for TCU and Texas Tech. TCU hung more than 80 on the Red Raiders, but the Red Raiders a trendy upset pick today in Baylor. Yikes on Rice, 49-17. Georgia had no problems. Nick Chubb went over 100 yards for the 12th straight game. This will help you, C.J. Beathard.
Completion.
He goes deep. Tevaun Smith on the other end. 81 yards in a score. The second half from Iowa City. Coming right up.
Jordan Canzeri, 3 rushing touchdowns, a career high in the first 30 minutes. Iowa leading North Texas 35-13 in the first ever meeting between these two schools. Anish Shroff alongside Ahmad Brooks. Offensively, the other big story for Iowa in the first half, the play of quarterback C.J. Beathard. He's been perfect.
He's been at his best, and I'm not sure if you can have a better first half of play, and we'll see some of it here in the footage that you're about to watch. Just a nice play here now. Is broken down coverage on the back end for North Texas, but he finds his target. A nice catch there to finish it from the tight end. And then this ball might have been the most beautiful all day long, over the top to Tevaun Smith, right in stride. 6 points there. And then he can go on the move as well. You see C.J. Beathard going deep, going short. He's going all over the field. How about this chart? You want to see how good he's been today? He's been all over the field. I mean, he's thrown to every point in the field that you can imagine. C.J. Beathard showing why he's the answer here in Iowa, and why Iowa, it may surprise some people in Big Ten play.
And you know what, Ahmad? He's not dinking and dunking either. 15 out of 15, averaging almost 17 yards per attempt.
That's phenomenal.
He has 254 passing yards in the first half, 4 more, and he would match his career high, which he set last week. Line drive kick by Kane, and it's out of the end zone for another touchback. Today's game track is brought to you by Taco Bell. Iowa on pace for close to 700 yards of total offense. North Texas struggled early on, a little bit better in that second quarter, and the Mean Green able to take advantage of a couple of Iowa turnovers.
No question, that's been the only drawback today for this Iowa team. You get those costly turnovers and they convert them into points, and then towards the end of the second quarter, you really saw this North Texas team really find its way rushing the football. Let's see if they go back to it here.
On the ground, it's Jeffrey Wilson. One cut, bounces to the outside, across the 35. A run of 12. It's a first down for North Texas. Wilson, in his first game of the season, missed the first 2, recovering from a broken finger. They'll feed Wilson again, and he gets to the 41-yard line. It's a gain of 4, second down and 6. North Texas on the ground, close to 60 yards rushing. Iowa came in, giving up 51 per game, one of the best marks in the nation. McNulty over the middle. He's got T. Gorey, and Gorey with a first down at the 49 of Iowa, a gain of 10.
Yeah, really good rhythm coming out here in the second half for this North Texas offense.
Jimerson in the backfield. And here is Jimerson. He gets the edge across the 45, trying to spin away from a couple of defenders. Tackle made by Desmond King. It's a gain of another 10. And North Texas doing what it wants offensively to start the third.
Yeah, particularly on that left side of the offensive line. You've really seen them get some chunk yardage today behind that side of the line.
There's Marcus Smith, the tight end. He's close to the 30, brought down by Jewell. A gain of 7, second and 3. We have not seen this kind of rhythm offensively from the Mean Green at all today. Jimerson changes directions, and that's where he sometimes gets in trouble. The coaches say sometimes he just needs to decide and not try to be Barry Sanders, be Emmitt Smith.
True. And dances too much, and this is football. And when you dance with a dangerous Iowa defense like they have, they'll wrap you up.
On third down, back to Wilson, back to the ground game, and Wilson appears to have enough for a first down. Now he's going to be just short, so 4th and inches, and an easy decision here for Dan McCarney. They'll go for it.
Let's see if they go back to that left side of the offensive line where they found. They go right back to it. Good push there once again from number 66, Michael Banogu, and number 64, Sam Rice. And when I watched this kid on film, number 66, he's very athletic, and a young man that just started playing football not too long ago, making his second start of the season.
Off play action. That one is juggled, but Chris Loving able to hold on to it and get to the 20. It's a gain of 7. If you missed us in the first half, North Texas quarterback Andrew McNulty, with ties to this area, played his high school ball down the street from Kinnick Stadium. Another first down. That's Wilson again. I guess he'll be just short again. So not getting the generous spot here. 3rd and short. But the run game has been there on this drive.
Yeah, you see those big boys for Iowa. Hands on hips, we mentioned it earlier. And when you start wearing down a defense with this up-tempo offense, what it does is it forces Iowa's defense not to be able to make substitutions. And now you've got to keep your big boys out on the field.
Let's see if they sneak it again with McNulty. On the ground, Wilson. And he surges to the 15-yard line inside the 15. Another first down for the Mean Green.
The Mean Green have been good in the red area all season long. This being their 2nd trip of the day. Let's see what they've got up their sleeve.
Well, if Iowa came out of the locker room a little sleepy, perhaps thinking the game was in hand, North Texas should have the Hawkeyes' attention now. 12th play of the drive. Wilson flips to the left of McNulty. McNulty pumps, throwing for the end zone, had an open receiver, but a little too high for Loving. There was some space to get that ball to number 14.
Pump fake there for McNulty really held the defense, which allowed the wide receiver to get in and behind the defense.
McNulty under pressure, trying to get away from Fisher. He does, throws off his back foot, and it's nearly intercepted by Maurice Fleming.
Pressure again, once again from number 36, Cole Fisher, right up the middle. And McNulty almost made something happen. And in talking to offensive coordinator Mike Canales, he said, this kid won't beat you with his arm strength. And you saw it there, just a little short on the throw. But the anticipation is really what leads to his accuracy. Wishes he had a little more oomph in that throw.
His high school coach, Dan Sabers, told me, high IQ quarterback. He wins with smarts. McNulty throwing for the end zone. He's got Harris, who cannot hold on. Well, he put that in the right spot. Harris just could not come down with it.
Yeah, and this is, I'm a 5'8" guy. This is where you wish you were just an inch taller, because if you're Carlos Harris at 5'8", 185 pounds, that was the difference. McNulty put the ball in the right location, and you can see there, McNulty knows they just missed an opportunity to get 7 more points.
And now another field goal attempt by Trevor Moore, the all-conference kicker. This one from 31 splits the uprights. The Mean Green come away with 3, but oh so close to 6.
Ready to go to Wally World.
It's a long way down Holiday Road. Holiday Road.
Honey, a blonde in a convertible? Seriously?
Built for families, designed for drivers. The QX60 from Infiniti, with a 3rd row and seating for 7.
This project calls for a real multitasker, someone who can handle 6 things at once. Someone like George.
Hi, boss. Starbucks Double Shot. There's no match for double the U.
Wendy's asked this pitmaster to share his secret barbecue sauce recipe. He did not. But he did give us this.
Your sauce should be a little smoky, a little spicy, and a little sweet.
Got it. So come try our smoky, spicy, or sweet barbecue sauce, served on top of hickory-smoked pulled pork with crunchy slaw on a toasted brioche bun, or over natural-cut pulled pork cheese fries. Wendy's, a barbecue tradition since 2015.
AT&T presents the strongest of the strong.
Okay, guys, let's see who can write the strongest tweet to show your school pride. Go.
I have people who tweet for me. Excellent tweet, Roderick.
Thank you, sir.
Hit me with the smell good.
strong assistant.
Who's strong enough to watch the college football playoff with Bo? Get stronger with AT&T, the network with the nation's strongest 4G LTE signal.
ESPN, home of the college football playoff.
We're at Kinnick Stadium in Iowa City, and he's Schroff alongside former Texas Longhorn Ahmad Brooks. The Hawkeyes jumped out to a 28-3 lead. It's 35-16. North Texas, 10 points off 2 Iowa turnovers. The Mean Green on 3 occasions have driven into Iowa territory and settled for 3. That last drive, a 15-play specimen, and it looked like North Texas with a touchdown would be right back in this game. Instead, not able to punctuate that possession.
You're right. I mean, they had an opportunity to even score with the Harris throw, and it just didn't work for them toward the end of that drive. But the confidence they must be gaining from driving up and down the field their last several possessions against this stingy Iowa defense has to have the offensive players on the sideline thinking that they can work themselves back into this ball game.
It'll be tough for C.J. Beathard to top his first half. 15 out of 15, 254 yards, a couple of TD passes. In case you're wondering, the FBS single game record for consecutive completions to start a game, 26. Dominique Davis of ECU set the mark against Navy in 2011. Here's Canzeri, breaks free and gets all the way to the 39 for a gain of 14.
Yeah, this is old school football right here. I formation, right up the gut. That's old Iowa. That's tapping into vintage Kirk Ferentz right there as they go right for a first down, and the offensive line once again behind Blythe, the center, getting a nice push.
As Kirk Ferentz told us yesterday, he's changed, but not that much. Off play action. Beathard chased, and that is the first incompletion of the afternoon, and I know, I jinxed it.
Yeah, and the pressure from Tillman Johnson didn't allow him to get his shoulder square and to get into that throw, but he still makes a smart decision. The pressure was coming. Don't get behind the sticks. Throw it away, for sure.
Now, you're right about that. It looks as an incompletion in the box score, but the correct play call and points to maturity. 2nd and 10. Press coverage on the outside. 3-step drop. Beathard underneath. And here's the tight end, Henry Krager-Coble. Kirk Ferentz has had good production. Krager-Coble and his cousin, George Kittle, who's got a touchdown reception. Good problem to have when Jake Doozy is full strength.
Yeah, you're right. Now they've got a few more guys they can rely on at the tight end position. And in speaking to Greg Davis about Beathard, he talked about his quick release. That time there, getting the ball out of his hand efficiently as they now face a 3rd down.
Beathard over the middle, and that one had a little too much zip for Krager-Coble. So 4th down coming up. And give North Texas a little credit here. They get a field goal on the opening drive of the 3rd quarter, force a punt. And if you can turn this possession into points, all of a sudden it changes how you view this game.
Manish, what I saw there was I saw a group that tackled better. You know, early on in the 1st quarter, it was awful. They were missing guys left and right all over the field. That time, able to shore guys up on initial contact.
This is Marshall Kane to punt it away. Line drive kick, takes an Iowa bounce, and goes out of bounds. Marked out at the 7-yard line, a 49-yard punt that did the trick.
Yeah, there are 3 phases of football: offense, defense, and special teams. And right now, Iowa is winning the latter. Once again, pinning this North Texas offense with his back to its goal line, and he just gets the perfect roll and bounce.
Be honest with me, Ahmad. Have you ever had more fun watching a guy on kickoffs as you've had watching Marshall Kane today?
It's like a play I can't miss. I mean, the leg strength of this young man is phenomenal.
He put the first kickoff in with the Iowa band. Then he hit 2, which hit off one of the uprights. Antoine Jimerson fell at the 8-yard line. And remember, it was Kane who was the hero last week, the 57-yard game-winning field goal to beat Pitt as time expired in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and if you're Iowa and you're trying to shore up this rushing defense, you're going to have to rely on Jordan Lomax, and it looks like Anthony Guerin at safety. Those two guys got to be a lid on this defense.
Jimerson bottled up after a yard, maybe two. And now third down coming up, a big third down for North Texas. You don't convert here, again, now you're giving Iowa premium field position.
No question about it, Anish.
The Mean Green, 4 out of 14 on third.
Ball start. Offense, number 66. Half the distance to the goal, third down.
Michael Banagou getting the start at left tackle. Started there in the season opener. Was replaced last week against Rice by true freshman Jordan Murray. Murray 6'9", 360.
And Banagou has had a good game. That time, though, a mental mistake.
McNulty looking for room. He'll tuck it and run. McNulty across the 15, slides down at the 20, and able to get the first down. Nobody open. He gets it with his legs.
Yeah, this is why planning for dual threat quarterbacks is a nightmare for defensive coordinators. This time you've got everything short up on the back end, and McNulty pops one for a first down on a big third down.
Huge conversion by North Texas. Jimerson backs his way inside the 30, still on his feet. And they'll give him 8 yards.
Yeah, and look at this play. I mean, you see it here, 4-man rush. They try to do a game up front. He just finds a crease, and then look at him, making people miss, and then the smart play on the end of that to slide to protect himself. McNulty here at the start of the second quarter till now has played much better football.
Jeffrey Wilson barrels ahead to the 30 for a first down. And North Texas continues to move the chains. There's Carlos Harris. And he's out of bounds as he gets near the 35-yard line, pushed out by Fleming and Fisher.
We've seen Jeffrey Wilson run the football today, that time blocking for Harris.
McNulty, quick release, broken up, intended for Loving. Ben Neiman was there. Neiman, a high school safety, plays strong side linebacker for Iowa.
Big third down here after another North Texas missed opportunity.
Here's the blitz. McNulty's throw, tight space. Harris holds on. He'll get forward progress. Make it Gorey who holds on. And it's going to be a first down for North Texas. Desmond King was all over him.
Yeah, I mean, that is some courage if you're McNulty to take on one of the Big Ten's top corners, and he goes right at him for the completion.
That's Smiley on the curl route, tackled by Fleming at the 45. Second down coming up for North Texas. And this Mean Green machine looking much better offensively here in the third quarter. Wilson has some room into the secondary and ahead to the 40-yard line, a gain of 13.
This was one of the main concerns of the defensive coordinator, Phil Parker, for Iowa. When they go and they spread you out thin, they really thin out the box as there's an injured Hawkeye down on the field. But the success that they've had on the ground now, they can only put 4 to 5 guys in the box because everybody is covering the outside wide receivers, and it's really working for North Texas.
The junior from Plano, Texas, Anthony Gare, is down. Gare, a business major who's also an entrepreneur. In fact, he has a business which makes cleat covers for track shoes.
Really?
6:16 to go, third quarter. North Texas driving.
The ingredients for a better football season? You're looking at them.
Get our kickoff special. Any large two-topping pizza for $10. And don't forget the Pepsi. Add a double chocolate chip brownie for $6 more.
Better ingredients, better pizza,
Better football.
at the new papajohns.com.
Relaxed fit shoes from Skechers. Rock out in comfort.
I thought you said you were going to test drive this Buick first.
I am test driving it for 24 hours.
Nice Buick. I guess the test drive last night went well.
Actually, I'm still on it.
You know we're test driving this Buick for 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
So what are you doing?
Test washing it.
Oh, okay. Well, let me know when you're done. I'm going to take it test shopping.
The Buick 24 Hours of Happiness Test Drive on your terms and schedule. Pay no interest for 5 years, plus get $1,500 purchase cash on select 2015 Enclave models in stock the longest.
The players, cheerleaders, the hootin' and hollerin', foot stomping, bands rocking. Every team has a tradition that inspires superior performance. And for the last 60 years, we're proud to be the one they all have in common.
Our town just stopped breathing when our school was broken. After the tornado hit, Belfort rolled into town and they quickly started fixing our school. They said, "Don't worry, we can fix this. We're gonna make this all better."
I made them a promise that their kids would be back on the first day of school.
5 months have passed and we're home.
At Belfort, we're restoring more than property.
The ingredients for a better football season? You're looking at them.
Get our kickoff special. Any large two-topping pizza for $10. And don't forget the Pepsi. Add a double chocolate chip brownie for $6 more.
Better ingredients, better pizza,
Better football.
at the new papajohns.com.
ESPNU College Football is brought to you by Belfort Property Restoration. Restoring more than property. For more information, visit BELFOR.com.
I'll look inside the Stu and Lenore Hansen Football Performance Center, a $55 million marvel. Dan McCarney didn't have those kind of bells and whistles when he was an assistant here at Iowa under Hayden Fry. But at Iowa State, he engineered a couple of big wins at Kinnick. 1998, his Cyclones were a 28-point underdog. And in 02 with Seneca Wallace, he led Iowa State over Iowa. Ball comes out, and it's recovered by Budgeta.
Drew Ott coming back from injury with a momentum-changing sack fumble. Was he in motion is the question. Let's take a look at it. You see Ott to the left of your screen, top of your screen. And that is close. It looks like a fumble from this angle. But what about the awareness from Ott to get that hand in there? Defensive ends work on that all week in practice, and it actually comes into fruition in the game. Big time play from Ott.
Ott dislocated his left elbow a few weeks ago. He's the best player on this Iowa defense as Canzeri gets to the 48-yard line. Give him a couple. And look at that left elbow. He's got David Ortiz armor. Ott's a different cat. He'll eat raw eggs. 3 years ago, he drove a mini motorcycle from campus all the way to his home in Nebraska. His family owns a farm out there. Quick screen. Tevaun Smith brought down after a gain of 7.
Yeah, in this play, we've seen it a few times today where Beathard just comes up and throws it out to the wide receiver. And I know that Greg Davis loves this play. Part of the reason is when you've got guys in the secondary that are off in soft coverage, 7 to 8 yards deep, it's one-on-one situation. So when you toss it out there, you've got a pretty good chance of picking up 4 to 5 yards like they did on that particular play.
2 tight ends stacked to the right. Canzeri on the counter. Picks up a first down. Canzeri up to 91 yards rushing. 3 rushing TDs in the first half. Canzeri again, and he is brought down in the backfield by T.J. Taulo.
Nice individual effort there. Hardest tackle to make is an open space like that, and he made it look easy.
All right, give him a yard, 2nd and 9. 4.5 to go here in this third quarter. Iowa, a season high in points, but the Hawkeyes have not scored in the third quarter. Beathard to throw. Downfield for Krager Coble. And it is incomplete. No flag on the play. Keyshawn McClain on the coverage.
Yeah, had that ball been thrown a little bit closer, might have gotten pass interference here. They were going back and forth, but that ball looked uncatchable. But give McClain credit. If you're going to cover a tight end, and I've played safety before, you've got to be aggressive, you've got to be physical, and you've got to get in those guys' face.
So now 3rd down. Iowa 4 out of 6 on 3rd down. North Texas came into the game with the worst 3rd down defense in the FBS. Here's the blitz. Picked up. Beathard has time, finds Smith, and it's an Iowa first down.
Yeah, and the blitz pickup there was to perfection. Watch this here. And they'll get Canzeri, who's almost rushed for 100 yards today, but watch the protection here from the guys up front. That free releaser is picked up by the running back, which allows Beathard the time to find his wide receivers downfield. Those are the types of plays. When you see that on film, if you're a coach, those are the things that make you most proud.
Here's Canzeri up the gut, and he gets about 3. Jordan Canzeri, senior out of Troy, New York. Offensive coordinator Greg Davis telling us part of the reason for his early season success, he's finally healthy. This was a guy who was banged up most of last year. He missed all of 2012 with a knee injury. Again, out of a 3 tight end set. Canzeri has a seam inside the 10. 1st and goal, Iowa.
They are rolling right now, and Canzeri, a guy who gets behind his pads. When you see him put that foot in the ground and square up those shoulders, only a few people on that side of the ball want to tackle him. He's a real force, and I know you talked about his ability to stay healthy, but when you have a bruising style like that, you're more inclined to get injured because you are fighting for every yard, just like he did there.
18 carries, 110 yards for Canzeri. His second 100-yard game of the season. They'll feed him again, trying to cut back, but taken down by Brandon Garner.
He just knifed through that. That was a good play by Garner.
Garner, a highly recruited guy for North Texas. He was originally committed to Purdue before flipping to Denton. And remember, North Texas, without its top DB, Kenny Byers, season with a back injury. Their top linebacker, Blake Bean, the Buffalo transfer, out today with an injury as well.
They've been hit hard on that side of the ball with injuries.
Second and goal. Canzeri breaks 1 tackle, fighting to the 5. 3rd and goal for Iowa.
Number 79 of Iowa. This big game with 1 play for his helmet coming off. 7-9.
Sean Welsh has to come out. His helmet came off. That is a rule.
Yeah, Beathard's been great today, but these are the types of situations inside your red zone, critical situations that all quarterbacks are judged on. Let's see what he does here.
Let's see if he looks for Vandenberg, his slot receiver. Beathard throwing for the end zone, incomplete, but a flag. Ashton Preston was covering Tevaun Smith. And they're going to get Preston.
And Tevaun Smith is a tough cover. He's a big physical guy. And I talked about Beathard.
Pass interference. Defense, number 41. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic. First down.
And I talked about being judged as a quarterback. Watch where this ball is located when he throws it in. I mean, he hits him square in the numbers. Beathard has had that type of accuracy all day long.
So after the penalty, 1st and goal at the 2. 3 tight ends into the game. Canzeri. Stopped. 2nd and goal. Now this is vintage Iowa football. This is what they're known for. You need a couple of yards. There's few offenses that you would take over this one.
Yeah, you're right, and that's why they have number 42 making Pleva in the ball game, the fullback, trying to clear the way for Canzeri.
Canzeri again into the end zone, his 4th touchdown of the game. Jordan Canzeri, the first Iowa player with 4 TDs in a game since Sean Green did it against Wisconsin back in 2008.
That was a very good job of managing the clock there. The Iowa offense, effective and efficient as they move the ball up and down the field. Let's take one more look at this touchdown as you see Canzeri for the score, but watch number 42 making Pleva clear the way, the room to get in the end zone.
I've won over $29,000 on FanDuel. Nothing special about me. The difference is that I played and they didn't.
Over 1.1 million people have won money playing one-week fantasy football on FanDuel.
If you think it can't be you, it can be you.
Choose a league, pick your team, and win. Leagues start from $1 and there's no season-long commitment.
Every week I can beat my buddies on FanDuel. Every single week I can win money on FanDuel.
Try FanDuel today. We'll match your first deposit up to $200. Go to FanDuel.com and enter promo code YARD. That's YARD.
Chrysler continues to break new ground in fuel efficiency, quality, and innovation, which is impressive. But doing it for 90 years is a reason to celebrate. And there's even more to celebrate with 0% APR for 72 months at the Chrysler Anniversary Celebration event. Now get 0% APR financing for 72 months on all 2015 Chrysler vehicles.
A group of extremely wealthy individuals developed a game. We gamble on crime.
The gamblers need someone to bet on.
Alex Kane.
Alex Kane. Mr. Kane.
I'm your player.
Critics call The Player the best game on television. It's a roller coaster wild time.
You have until midnight to solve the crime.
Good luck, Mr. Kane.
You're gonna need it.
The Player, Thursdays 10/9 Central on NBC.
The players, cheerleaders, early seat claimers, the road trippers, masked riders, passionate tailgaters, the whiteouts, blackouts, fans going all out, the hootin' and hollerin', foot stompin', halftime bands rockin'. Every team has a tradition that inspires superior performance, and for the last 60 years, we're proud to be the one they all have in common.
With LaShawn Daniels banged up, running back no longer a timeshare for Iowa, Jordan Canzeri is the guy right now And what a performance this afternoon.
He's been fantastic, and he's really relieved this offense. But you see where the bulk of his yard comes right up the middle behind the guy that I had as an impact player, Austin Blythe, 6'3", 290. He's on the Remington and Outland Trophy watch list, and it's easy for Canzeri to run behind an offensive line like that. But today he's been special, and he's been fantastic.
Another touchback by Kane. Well, no, I spoke too soon. North Texas decides to run this one out. Jordan Canzeri has been running all over North Texas.
Well, he's a north and south runner, and I love that about him. It's one cut, and I'm gone. And you see it there, and I talked about him squaring up those shoulder pads. Nothing is more intimidating when you're coming downhill, and it's about to be a collision with a guy that's that powerful. Canzeri, as we showed you earlier, doing it all. And it's, like I said, when you get in that type of rhythm as a running back, if you're offensive coordinator Greg Davis, feed that guy.
First down, Mean Green. Andrew McNulty completes his pass near sideline. Carlos Harris with his 5th catch of the day. It's good for 13. What the Mean Green need going forward, they need a reliable number 2 to complement Carlos Harris. Play action, intercepted. Josey Jewell into the end zone, touchdown Iowa. A 38-yard interception return by Jewell, the Mike linebacker, and Iowa pouring it on, 49-16. Now 48-16. Marshall Kane missed the extra point. And that is a rarity.
Looks like he just mishit it there.
Yeah, no good. Iowa came into this game having not missed an extra point in 59 consecutive games. So the longest streak in the nation busted. And go figure, it's Kane, the guy who's been putting touchbacks off the uprights and into the band, and the guy who had a 57-yard game winner last week. He probably gets a mulligan from the special teams coaches after what he did last week, though.
You may be right, but if you're a competitor, you know he's not very happy about that. And let's look at this Iowa Hawkeye defense coming up big. And there goes Jewell, the middle linebacker, and you watch him. He just slides right underneath this route that's intended for the slot wide receiver. He followed McNulty's eyes. He detailed his throw, and a veteran player just slides right underneath the movement, the ability. How about the hands from the linebacker to snag that thing out of the air and then show off his running abilities? That'll be a play that he'll remember for the rest of his life. It's not oftentimes that you score a touchdown. When I played Anish, I scored 1 touchdown. And I was so happy. We were losing the game, so I couldn't even celebrate the way I wanted to. Fortunately
Who was
for
it
Jewell,
against?
Nebraska in the Big 12 title game.
There you go.
But, fortunately for Jewell today, he did it at the right time and was able to celebrate with his mates.
Antoine Jimerson corralled at the 26, a gain of a yard. Parker Hesse on the stop. And that will take us to the end of the third quarter. It's been a complete effort by the Hawkeyes. The faithful like what they've seen this afternoon.
Chiefs Packers at 8:15, Monday on ESPN.
Some cashback cards love to overcomplicate things, like limiting, where you earn bonus cash back. Why put up with that? But the Quicksilver card from Capital One likes to keep it simple. Real simple. I'm talking easy, like a walk in the park, nothing to worry about. Man, that feels good simple. Quicksilver earns you unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere. It's a simple question. What's in your wallet?
Chrysler continues to break new ground in fuel efficiency, quality, and innovation, which is impressive. But doing it for 90 years is reason to celebrate. And there's even more to celebrate with 0% APR for 72 months at the Chrysler Anniversary Celebration event. Now get 0% APR financing for 72 months on all 2015 Chrysler vehicles.
Dudes, been a couple of A-plus roommates. And I hate to do this because you guys have been cool with everything. You're cool with my band. You're cool with that English accent phase, remember that?
We're literally out to milk.
And that theater troupe.
Hey, could you give me a second, please?
But State Farm's helped me be really smart with my money, and I got my own pet now. Oh, no big deal. Mom, Dad, my new place doesn't allow pets. Dylan's gonna have to stay here. One love, Pops.
Start out right in life. With everything from renter's insurance to your first bank account, State Farm is there.
Let's discuss medical supplies.
I'm kind of happy with my guys.
I think you'll love our newest line.
The stuff my vendor sells works fine. And my budget's small, just so you know.
Should I stay or should I go?
When you choose to go for business, go to thenewchoicehotels.com. It makes finding the right room faster and easier than ever. And right now, stay 2 times and earn a free night. Book now at choicehotels.com.
Tremendous firepower. He leaps. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Interesting to see how the Trojans respond.
Touchdown. What a drive by Arizona State.
Tonight at 7, Texas A&M, Arkansas. Then at 10:30, USC, Arizona State on ESPN and streaming live on Watch ESPN.
North Texas is headed toward an 8th straight road loss, and this Mean Green team still has to go on the road 5 more times. They play by far the toughest schedule of any Conference USA team.
Yeah, and if you're Dan McCarney now, you've got to have that positive energy now permeate through your entire team and try to get them out of the gutter.
2nd and 9 as we begin the 4th quarter. McNulty airs it downfield, too far, nearly intercepted. It's incomplete. Teammates colliding, Brandon Snyder and Maurice Fleming.
Yeah, and Lomax throws his hands up on the end of this play, but both guys got a beat on it. And that's good coverage, but, you know, in hindsight, and I've been in similar plays like that before, where you got a cornerback and a safety getting to the ball at the same time. I've always said, as a safety, if you can see that guy coming to you, you hold up. And you allow the corner to have an opportunity there. Lomax trying to stack his stats.
There's the blitz again, and that's off the hands of Smith. It'll bring up 4th down. You go back to North Texas's schedule. They still have to go on the road to take on Tennessee. They had a bye the first week, so they'll play 12 consecutive games starting week 2 against SMU. Lost to an improved Mustangs team. Lost to Rice last week. A Rice team you and I saw a few weeks ago that's actually pretty good.
I would agree with you. And then North Texas is also a team that has a mighty fine walk-on program, and they're going to need the guys with the injuries they've had to endure thus far in the season.
There's Riley McCarron, fair catch signal, makes it at the 36. And North Texas also has to play Western Kentucky, Middle Tennessee, and Marshall, the top 3 teams in the Conference USA East Division. Tonight on ABC, 8 Eastern, UCLA and Arizona. Scooby Wright, the reigning Lombardi, Bednarik, and Nagurski winner, will be back for Arizona. And Ahmad, is the winner of that game the new favorite in the Pac-12?
I think so. Yeah, I definitely think so. And I think the odds for them winning the conference is very high.
New quarterback for Iowa. It's the redshirt freshman, Tyler Wiegers. So it appears C.J. Beathard's day is done. And the handoff goes to Derek Mitchell, who's tripped up at the 37-yard line. Got a yard. Wiegers was the scout team quarterback last year. A terrific student athlete, incredibly smart. In fact, he's a biomedical engineering major. Out of high school, he considered going to play football at the University of Pennsylvania, an Ivy League school. Did commit to Rutgers at one point before settling on Iowa. That's Mitchell on the toss, a flag on the play.
Holding, offense, number 92, 10-yard penalty, second down.
And it's Jameer Outsey who's flagged. Let's check in with Brendan Fitzgerald in the studio.
Hey, Anish, thanks very much. Upset alert, East Carolina up 28-21, make it a 2-touchdown game. Look at James Summers throw would-be tacklers off of him. It's 35-21 in the rain at East Carolina.
Wow, that would be 2 years in a row, Virginia Tech going down to East Carolina.
Virginia Tech, we had their game a few weeks ago. Another team decimated by injuries, though.
Yeah, quarterback Michael Brewer out. Pressure on Wiegers, gets rid of it. It's completed, and that is Stone. Andrew Stone making the catch. It'll bring up 3rd and long. Stone, a junior college transfer out of Cedar Falls, Iowa. That was just Wiegers' second career pass attempt. Now the Hawkeyes looking at a 4-0 record as they begin Big Ten play next week. They'll go to Madison to take on Wisconsin. Wiegers steps up and is dropped. Jarian Roberts with his 3rd sack of the season.
Yeah, the redshirt freshman getting a lesson in blitz and in holding the ball too long. That time you've got to recognize it. They had a nice pocket for him. You've got to step up in that thing to be able to get your throw off. But North Texas teeing off on 3rd and long situations, and defensive linemen love those types of situations.
Yeah, Iowa also had its 2nd string O-line in there. Kirk Ferentz trying to get some of those guys reps. There's Dylan Kidd, just gets it off. Bounces near midfield. And it takes an Iowa bounce inside the 40, and it's down at the 39-yard line. A 43-yard punt, no return.
The ingredients for a better football season? You're looking at them.
Get our kickoff special. Any large 2-topping pizza for $10. And don't forget the Pepsi. Add a double chocolate chip brownie for $6 more.
Better ingredients, better pizza, better football. At the new PapaJohns.com.
I'm coming.
Let's go, Dad.
Who's ready to go to Wally World?
It's a long way down Holiday Road. Holiday Road.
Honey, a blonde in a convertible? Seriously?
Built for families, designed for drivers. The QX60 from Infiniti, with a 3rd row and seating for 7.
Okay, what is this?
It's chewy.
Really icy.
Whoa, that's intense. It just hits you.
It's gum.
No, it's totally a mint. It's disappearing as I'm chewing it. Where did it go?
It's not a gum, not a mint. It's a totally new cool. New Icebreakers Cool Blasts.
Gentlemen, it's time for the Joseph A. Bank Super Weekend Sale. All traveler suits just $249. All traveler dress shirts and sport shirts 3 for $99. And machine washable merino wool sweaters are 2 for $69. Only at Joseph A. Bank.
AT&T presents the strongest of the strong.
This is the Armchair Quarterback Challenge. Let's hear your best analysis. Kirk Herbstreit's the judge.
You can't run a crossing route on the dime package. I smashed that.
Roger? Strong silence.
Nobody likes an armchair quarterback, Ron.
Who's strong enough to watch the college football playoff with Bo? Get stronger with AT&T, the network with the nation's strongest 4G LTE signal.
The ingredients for a better football season? You're looking at them.
Get our kickoff special. Any large 2-topping pizza for $10. And don't forget the Pepsi. Add a double chocolate chip brownie for $6 more.
Better ingredients, better pizza.
Better football.
At the new papajohns.com.
Big day in the Pac-12 Conference. A lot on the line for both teams.
UCLA, Arizona, tonight at 8 Eastern on ABC.
North Texas head coach Dan McCarney and Kirk Ferentz were both on Hayden Fry's coaching staff, back on that great 1983 staff. And you have Fry, who's the patriarch of Iowa football and has one of the great coaching trees of all time, but also on that staff and in that picture, Barry Alvarez, Bill Snyder, and Bob Stoops. You're talking about 5 future head coaches and guys who just didn't hang around for a year or two, guys with serious longevity. And that goes back to Hayden Fry's principle. He never wanted to hire an assistant who did not aspire to be a head coach.
That's great, and that has to be one of the best staffs ever assembled by any head coach.
No question.
And when you talk to Dan McCarney, he talked about what he learned from Hayden Fry. He said the approach he took to the job, how he made everybody around him feel special. And he also said we were a bunch of no-names when we were on that staff, but he's most proud about the longevity that those guys have had after leaving Iowa, and how could you not be one of the finest staffs ever assembled.
Ferentz and McCarney coached on the same staff for almost a decade. Ferentz from 81 to 89, McCarney there 79 to 89. That's a deep ball, and it is incomplete, broken up. Joshua Jackson was there. And for Hayden Fry, his journey began in part in Denton, Texas. He was the head coach at North Texas from 73 to 78, then came over to Iowa for the 79 season, stayed at Iowa all the way through 1998. Ferentz took over, and there's only a couple of other programs in college football with that sort of coaching stability. 2 coaches in the last 46 years. Florida State and Virginia Tech are the other 2 programs that have only had 2 coaches since '79. Jimbo Fisher, Bobby Bowden, Frank Beamer, Bill Dooley.
That's impressive.
College football Sunday, the only national college football show on Sundays, 8 Eastern to noon on ESPNU. We'll recap week 4, the best, the worst, everything that you missed, maybe even things you want to see again from the weekend. Leaguer's in for his second series. Hands it off to Mitchell. Mitchell with green grass into mean green territory and pushed out of bounds. Derek Mitchell, a converted wide receiver who moved to running back in the spring.
Yeah, watch the block. It'll come to the left side of your screen, just a crack block. Doesn't see him coming, and next thing you know, he pops it out in the open. James Gray, who's back on the field after being injured earlier, and he's off to the races.
Back to Mitchell on 1st and 10. And he spun down shy of the 35.
This Iowa offense on the season, have a listen to this. 15 red zone attempts this season, 13 touchdowns. That is effective when you get in the red area.
You start to forecast where this team could go. Remember the narrative entering the season. A lot of folks felt this was a make or break year for Kirk Ferentz. He had to get this program back on track. They were mired in really a malaise of mediocrity for 4 years. After that great run in 2009, 2010, Iowa basically a 500 team over the next 4 years, but off to a 4-0 start. You look at what they have in front of them. The Big Ten West, not especially strong this year. The Hawkeyes do not play Ohio State and do not play Michigan State. Looking at that schedule, 8 wins, that's not a stretch to get there. In fact, it's probably a surprise if they don't get at least 8.
I couldn't agree with you more here. And if you're Iowa, these next 2 road games at Wisconsin, at Northwestern, will tell you a lot about your team.
That's Akron Wadley, and he moves the chains. Greg Davis telling us Wadley's a guy with a lot of potential. He said if you see him in the game, you're going to wonder, hey, why isn't he getting more touches? Why isn't he part of the rotation? Ball security has been an issue.
Yeah, you can't give a running back the ball. They can't hold on to the ball. And as talented as he is, the one thing that you have to do, and especially under a Greg Davis coached offense, protect the football.
Wadley came into the game with 36 career carries and 3 lost fumbles. There's Wadley again using the stiff arm. And there's the explosiveness. Another nice run. And he's got enough for a first down.
Yeah, it's clear to see why this young man, if he can figure out how to hold on to the football, how he could be added into this mix. Canzeri was special today, but they've got depth at the running back position for sure.
We have an update on TCU and Texas Tech coming your way in just a moment. There's Mitchell. He picks up a first down, and we check in with Brendan.
Anish, we go to Lubbock, Texas, where the Red Raiders of Texas Tech on 4th and 1. It's Patrick Mahomes who walks in for the touchdown. The winner of this will be 4-0. It's a 2-point lead for the Raiders in the second quarter.
Ahmad, wow. You're down in Austin. You follow the Big 12 closely. Are you worried about TCU with all the injuries that have decimated that defense?
Yeah, you're still worried about them because Tevaun Boykin is their quarterback. But it's been impressive what Texas Tech has been able to do with their offensive production, and today holding TCU at this point only to 26 points. And I know Cliff Kingsbury, you saw him with some war awards last week with Brett Bielema, but that is a team that, watch out, they're on your radar now. But with a scoring offense like they have, they can beat anybody in the conference.
Mitchell back into the game here on 2nd down. He gets the call. And he pushes inside the 5-yard line. That extra effort gets him a first down, and it's 1st and goal for Iowa.
Looks a little banged up there as you see him holding that left shoulder.
Iowa with 48 points today. The last time they cracked 50, September 21st, 2013, 59 against Western Michigan. They give this to Wadley. Up the gut. Not much there. 2nd and goal. Well, Ahmad, you know, to go back to Iowa's schedule, you go on the road at Wisconsin, on the road at Northwestern. The Wildcats certainly look improved. At Nebraska. Those are always tough games, but you can't sit here now and say none of those games are winnable. And if you can steal 1 or 2 on the road, this team might have a shot to play for the Big Ten championship.
Yeah, you get a sense from talking to the coaching staff that they know they have something here. It's another touchdown for Iowa.
And that is Akron Wadley, sophomore from Newark, New Jersey, getting into the end zone. Iowa cracks 50 with 6:35 to go here in regulation. And it's easy to say, well, hang on, what they're doing is against North Texas. Give the Hawkeyes a little bit of credit. They've beaten 2 Power 5 teams in non-conference. And when you face a mismatched opponent, this is what you're supposed to do. We saw Nebraska barely hang on against Southern Miss earlier today. It's been all Hawkeyes here in Iowa City. 55-16.
A real multitasker, someone who can handle 6 things at once. Someone like George.
Hi, boss.
Starbucks Double Shot. There's no match for double the U.
Introducing the take-home box. A whole nother meal, just $1.99. Have your fill at the Endless Buffet, then fill up your take-home box for just $1.99 more. Golden Corral, the best buffet in the USA.
There's no better way to bring in business than postcards and flyers. You can say a little or say a lot. You can hand them out, and you can hang them up, or just mail them out. You can size them up, and of course, you can shrink them down. So if you want the right solutions for your business and the best value, the best choice is to do it yourself. Online at Vistaprint.com. There you'll find all the right sizes and an expanded range of paper stocks. All backed by easy uploads, simple design tools, complimentary design support, and an absolute guarantee. So make the right choice and visit Vistaprint.com today. And when you do, enter promo code MARKETING and get 500 postcards starting at just $24.99. Then you can stock them up and get the word out.
Let's take a look at today's AT&T strong performance. I guess you call this the jewel of Niall Kinnick, perhaps. Josey Jewell had a nice game for Iowa, making plays in space. That's 43 in black, and here he just reads the quarterback's eyes.
He's been a leader today, and you can tell. Studying these guys on film, they didn't miss a lot of tackles, and you saw him there. Hitting ball carriers and bringing them down where he had that initial contact. He's had a fine job. He's had a fine game today, and you can see him joking on the sideline. It's always good for a starter when you have those types of moments, when your team has a convincing lead. You're on the sideline talking to your mates about what's taking place on the field. Good day for him today.
The bad pun, by the way, intended. 55-16, 6:33 to go in the fourth quarter. That was Miguel Racinos kicking off for Iowa. Marshall Kane's day is done. North Texas back on offense. It has been a tough homecoming for the Mean Green quarterback, Andrew McNulty, as we told you. He grew up in Iowa City, played his high school ball down the street. In fact, was 36-0 in the regular season. And McNulty's day is done. Josh Greer, the junior, who began last year as North Texas' starting quarterback, comes in for the final 6.5 minutes. And he's got Willie Ivory in the backfield. Ivory to the 22 for a gain of 3.
Yeah, big plays for this offense have been a non-factor. They've got 218 plays on the season, including punt returns and kick returns, and only one of those plays have gone more than 33 yards. Iowa had 5 plays today for over 33 yards.
Greer's pass is complete far side. Darvin Kidsey. And there is McNulty. McNulty actually began last year as North Texas' 3rd string starter. Josh Greer, who's in now, a junior college guy, struggled with ball placement. He started the first few games, then DeJon Williams took over. Neither of those guys worked out, and McNulty was the best option. And there were folks in Denton who wondered, would McNulty be the starting quarterback if not for the relationship between Dan McCarney, his head coach, and McNulty's father, James, who played at Iowa with McCarney. But the truth of the matter, and it was spelled out by Brett Vito of the Denton Record Chronicle, McNulty is the best quarterback on this team. So unless you have another guy who's better than him, then you play that guy. But right now, McNulty's the best option.
And I agree. Part of the reason is because he can beat you with his feet, and he can also beat you with his arm. And when you've got a dual-threat quarterback, the pressure that it puts on the defense is immense.
Into triple coverage, and Loving hauls it in. So Greer put that right in the Bermuda Triangle, but Loving, the only man in a white jersey there, able to come down with it.
Yeah, he's a great leader, and McCarney talked about what type of young man he was and what type of leader he's been for this program.
Greer, and that one incomplete. And that last throw points to some of the struggles that he's had at North Texas, throwing behind guys. Somebody close to the team was telling me he's been great in practice, and he wows you in practice, but in game situations, and I'm sure you've been around guys like that, for one reason or another, it doesn't come together.
Yeah, he's got the big arm. I was watching him earlier today, and the ball just jumps off his hand.
There's Ivory. He rips off a nice run, still on his feet, and spun out of bounds at the 18-yard line, a gain of 28 for Willie Ivory. 4:47 to go in regulation. North Texas will have its first winless September since 2008. Iowa will go to 4-0 for the first time since 2009. That season ended with a win in the Orange Bowl. Andrew Tucker, who got the start in the season opener against SMU. Jeffrey Wilson was still hurt, and Jimerson was suspended for the first quarter of that game. On second down, Greer over the middle in traffic, incomplete. Marcus Smith the target. And we've seen that a couple of times now. He's thrown in areas where there have been more black shirts than white shirts.
Yeah, when you have arm strength like that, you believe you can squeeze it into tight windows, and that sometimes is your downfall. When you've got ball hawks in the secondary, guys that look for those types of opportunities, they usually take advantage of it.
North Texas a couple of years ago won 9 games, played in a bowl game, the Heart of Dallas Bowl. Big reason for their success was the steady play of their quarterback, Derek Thompson, as Tucker gets to the outside. Thompson was the MVP of the Heart of Dallas Bowl, and since he's left, that quarterback position really hasn't given North Texas what you would call plus or even production. That 2013 season, the Mean Green won 9 games, their only winning season in the last 10 years. And movement up front, Jordan Murray, the 6'9" freshman.
Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
That's a large man. I mean, that's the Colossus of Rhodes animated.
6'9", 360? Boy, when he leans on you, it's not a good day.
Only 2 players in the entire FBS are taller.
How many are bigger? I mean, he's 6'9", 360. Usually when you see a guy with that type of height.
That's a great point.
Thin in the pants.
I'm wondering now, if he was on the North Texas basketball team, would he be the tallest guy?
Good question.
4th down. Greer's pass intercepted. Bo Bauer is going to take it all the way back. The second pick 6 for Iowa, and the route continues.
Exclamation point there. You know, Iowa Hawkeye fans all throughout the country, especially one of my little friends there in Austin who love the Hawkeyes, Liam Bell, probably love to play like that. The Hawkeye fans may be thin in the stadium today, but wherever they're watching, this has been a fine effort from this Hawkeye team.
Well, they're thin in the stadium now because they're getting a head start on traffic. This one's been over for a while, and a good moment for the former walk-on Bo Bauer, a guy who struggled in the bowl game against Tennessee, lost his starting job. He finds the end zone. Iowa with 2 pick 6s.
Yeah, these are special plays. They change the momentum. Both coming back from the linebacking core. It's something you rarely see, a linebacker in the open field.
Chrysler continues to break new ground in fuel efficiency. quality and innovation, which is impressive. But doing it for 90 years is reason to celebrate. And there's even more to celebrate with 0% APR for 72 months at the Chrysler Anniversary Celebration event. Now get 0% APR financing for 72 months on all 2015 Chrysler vehicles.
So how did you get this gold PS4?
So last week I ran into this guy, Dimitri Two Hands. He used to run with the mob. Anyway, his goons boosted some bullion from the Kemerov vault. But the bars are marked, so they had to melt them down. Now it's in a cookhouse. You know the right guys and have the dinero. People are dipping all sorts of stuff in it. That's how.
Really? Because I heard that you can only win it at Taco Bell.
Grab a Quesarito or Volcano Quesarito Big Box for a chance to win a limited edition gold PS4 bundle. There's a winner every 10 minutes.
I've won over $29,000 on FanDuel. Nothing special about me. The difference is that I played and they didn't.
Over 1.1 million people have won money playing one-week fantasy football on FanDuel.
If you think it can't be you, it can be you.
Choose a league, pick your team, and win. Leagues start from $1 and there's no season-long commitment.
Every week I can beat my buddies on FanDuel. Every single week I can win money on FanDuel.
Try FanDuel today. We'll match your first deposit up to $200. Go to FanDuel.com and enter promo code YARD. That's YARD.
So why the Marines?
Oh, they're attacking!
Because this is the land that I love, the country I'm honored to serve.
USC, Arizona State, tonight at 10:30 on ESPN.
For those of you still with us, Ahmad and I thank you. Ahmad Brooks, Lee Schroff. Our burning questions for Week 4. Mine is, will the team to beat in the Pac-12 emerge after tonight? And Ahmad, for you, you want to know about Arkansas.
Yeah, they're at the bottom of the barrel in the SEC West with a 1-2 record. They could lose today. The most disappointing thing, Brett Bielema, last year was very confident in his ability to run the football. They are 79th in the country, averaging only 171 yards rushing the football. I suggest Brett Bielema stops worrying about what other coaches are saying and start coaching up his ball club, or it's about to get real ugly in Fayetteville.
Big special teams tackle as DeAndre Bradley goes down. 62-16, 2:41 left.
The ingredients for a better football season? You're looking at them.
Get our kickoff special. Any large two-topping pizza for $10. And don't forget the Pepsi. Add a double chocolate chip brownie for $6 more.
Better ingredients, better pizza.
Better football.
At the new papajohns.com.
The way I see it, you have two choices. The easy way or the hard way. You could choose a card that limits where you earn bonus cash back. Or you could make things easier on yourself. That's right, the Quicksilver card from Capital One. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere. So let's try this again. What's in your wallet?
I'm Sheldon Yellen, and I started my career rebuilding homes for one family at a time. Today, our company's helped build something more. For 28 years, Belfour has been restoring homes and businesses destroyed by fire, flood, or any disaster. And even though we've grown to over 6,000 dedicated people around the world, for me, it's still about helping one family or business at a time. At Belfour, we're restoring more than property.
Hello! Not getting enough oomph out of your energy drink? Then try an extra strength 5-hour energy shot. Its beefed up blend of vitamins, nutrients, and caffeine make it the very definition of extra strength. Plus, every great flavor has 0 sugar and 4 calories. So, for an energy shot that really pulls its own weight, switch to extra strength 5-hour energy. Oh, could you go left up here? I need to pick up my dry cleaning.
The ingredients for a better football season? You're looking at them.
Get our kickoff special. Any large two-topping pizza for $10. And don't forget the Pepsi. Add a double chocolate chip brownie for $6 more.
Better ingredients, better pizza.
Better football.
At the new papajohns.com.
Brandon Fitzgerald back in studio. Coming up in just about 20 minutes, it's Ole Miss On the Grove in Oxford, taking on Vanderbilt's Hugh Freeze, and his Rebels are 3-0 once again, and for the second straight year, a top 3 ranking. Chad Kelly, jump around. Don't jump around too much. Anish, back to you.
Well, Brendan, here Iowa putting up Ole Miss type of numbers, 62 points on the scoreboard. Most points since 2002 when they had 62 against Northwestern. Third-string quarterback in for North Texas, that is DeMarcus Smith. And Willie Ivory gets the call. And Kirk Ferentz takes no pleasure in this. He and Dan McCarney are friends. There was a great story making the rounds this week when the two of them were on Hayden Fry's staff. Ferentz was the O-line coach, McCarney the D-line coach. And Fry would not let them practice first-stringers against first-stringers. You couldn't do ones against ones. Well, one day in practice, the players were getting bored, and Ferentz and McCarney said, hey, what the hey, let's give it a try. They didn't think Hayden Fry was paying attention. He was, according to their accounts. Fry angrily marched to the end of the field where they were having their ones against ones, and basically said, you guys do this again, I'm getting a new D-line coach and a new O-line coach. The players laughed. Ferentz and McCarney laugh about it now. They said they were frightened back then.
That's a great story. And, you know, when you have history with guys like that, and it's those types of stories that keeps the mood light.
Yep.
And that was something that Hayden Fry was really good at doing. And they respectfully did something that every player wants to do. You love going good on good during practice so you can really challenge and sharpen your skills.
What's interesting, that's one of Ferentz's philosophies now at Iowa that's different from his predecessor. He will practice his ones against ones. And Dan McCarney was also telling us another story between the two. Halloween night, there was a blizzard in Iowa City, and the two of them were taking their kids out trick-or-treating, and the kids wanted to go. It's trick-or-treat. It's Halloween. Forget the snow. And so, according to McCarney, they took some liquid courage beforehand and were able to brave the weather.
The kids didn't need it, though. They got to get tougher.
They didn't tell the kids. Smith pumps, throws, and it was nearly another interception by this Iowa defense. Sean Draper nearly came down with it.
And they've had their hands on a few balls today and haven't come up with a few interceptions that they could have had, but all in all, this was a great performance from this Iowa Hawkeye team. And I know people that are listening and hearing us talk about them being a contender. Them in Northwestern right now look like the two teams out in front, and there'll be a big game.
And who saw that coming?
I know I didn't. And I know there'll be a big game here in 3 weeks that'll determine a lot what happens here in the Big Ten.
Conference play for Iowa begins next week in Madison. Fair catch by McCarron at the 20. Iowa's had some big performances. C.J. Beathard was sharp as Valyrian steel in the first half. 15 out of 15 finishes with a career high in passing yards. Jordan Canzeri, a career high 4 rushing touchdowns, 3 in the first half. He went over 100 yards for the second time this season, and he had to carry most of the load early in the run game with LaShawn Daniels still nicked up.
Yeah, and behind that big, bodacious offensive line for Iowa that was clearing the way, but also giving Beathard the time to make those throws.
Iowa on its way to going to 4-0 for the first time since 2009. And C.J. Beathard, the grandson of the great GM Bobby Beathard, becomes the first Iowa starter to win his first 5 starts since Matt Sherman won his first 7 in the 94-95 season. An emotional handshake between Ferentz and McCarney, hugs and backslaps. A lot of love between those two, but it's Kirk Ferentz's team who comes out on top and in a big way. The Hawkeyes head into conference play with a lot of momentum. They're 4-0 for the first time since '09. Now to the studio and Brendan Fitzgerald.